So we're recording now. Okay. Quick recap. Last session, um, you got your way into Tharbad. Um, Goldie, you and Eucalio had an audience with Gurnau, the captain of Tharbad. Gained entry to the Red Palace, where he and his nobles were basically just partying at the expense of the rest of the city. Um, he regaled you of his great deeds for the city upon gaining power. And you realize that there is, despite his thuggish and heavy handed approach to ruling this city, there is some progress to be made. Buildings are starting to be reconstructed, there's some semblance of commerce, even though it is like highly corrupt and lines the pockets of these so called nobles. Um, you also met Lady Stock, his wife, who many feel is the true power behind the captain. Managed to avoid being, what's the right word? Um, tricked into.
Pressed into service.
Yes, exactly. Um, so managed to see through what she was trying to do and avoid that potentially nasty situation. Um, Now I know the Turk. You had tried to go off. You also made a deal with Tom Brass, the lieutenant of the watch, who said that if you refrain from telling Gurnau about the whereabouts and the circumstances of John leaving, that he would split the reward with you for his capture and ensure your safe passage through Tharbad. You had a number of conditions around this, that you wanted the cobbler and Borlas to be freed and verified. What was the other condition you wanted?
I think it was just that, and then us to get out.
Yeah, for us to get out safely, all of us.
Yeah.
All right. So in your conversation with Gurnau, you never brought up John leaping. The subject of his name never came up. So you kept that end of the bargain. And Turk, you had agreed to accompany Tom Brass at midnight that night to verify the cobbler's release. There was some confusion as to where he was taking you when you did rendezvous. You were being led in a very potentially dangerous direction. But you realized that that was where Borlas was being hidden when he was removed from Garth Toron, the infamous prison within the center of Tharbad. You escorted him to the inner gates, during which he told you about all the famous people he cobbled shoes for, including Thorn Oakenshield. He loves to name drop. So you managed to get him through the inner gates into the outer districts, but then that was it. He was left to his own devices. So he was making his way down the causeway. Turkey realized that there was another set of gates that he had to pass through. So you decided to follow him. Now, I can't recall, you convinced him to leave the causeway and you tried to go over what's called the ram, the broken outer walls. And I believe at that time, you made your stealth roll, but he failed miserably. And so the guards saw something.
Well, it's midnight, so they probably heard something.
They heard something. So I think that's where we left off with you, right?
Yes, not that I'm putting in my forcing my memories. I think two torches were coming down off the causeway.
Yes, exactly. Coming to investigate what that noise was. Um, in the meantime, Zurk and S- Moonstalker um, made their way to Amelia's house, Orathel's friend or acquaintance within Tharbad, who she had. Orthel, just to remind you, told you you can call on her as a last resort, but don't press her, basically, because you don't want her. She doesn't want to ruin that relationship, basically. But you arrive there. She is in a fantastic home, decked out to the gills, like with incredible art and statues and obvious wealth. She has no qualms about telling you that she is a burglar or was a burglar. And that is how she came across all this wealth. She has a great disdain for hobbits, especially a hobbit named Bilbo Baggins, who she considers an amateur and managed to get his success by sheer luck and no skill. Um, but you stay th- decide to stay there for the night with the two sisters. Um, but in the meantime, while Eucaliel and Goldie retreated to their rooms that night, you made inquiries about an individual that Moonstark was looking for, Gwen, a woman named Gwen. Um, One of the servants told you that yes, of course, there is an individual, a young woman named Gwen, in service of Captain Gurnow, and you managed to gain audience with her and tell her that Moonstark was looking for her, and she told you she would meet him that night at the Last Bridge Inn, which is not too far from where Amelia is staying. So Eucaliel sent her raven to Amelia's house to tell Moonstalker about this news and where to rendezvous. So while Turk and Barlo, I forget the name of the cobbler now, Barlos,
Borless.
Borlas, thank you.
Or less.
Borlas, thank you. We're making the way out of the gate. Zurg was fast asleep in bed with one of the sisters, and Goldie and Eucaliel were shacked up in a pretty dingy place called the Red Palace. Gwen met with Moonstalker, or tried to meet with Moonstalker at the Bridge Inn. Oh, there he is. And when she arrived, there was a tale.
Hello.
Hey,
Sorry about that.
welcome. No worries.
Outside and lost track of time.
No worries. Just finishing up a quick recap, and got to your part where, you were going to meet up with Gwen, and following her into the Bridge Inn was Orla with a stiletto to Gwen's back. And that's where we ended last session. So I'll let you get settled in. I'm going to go.
Good.
Eucaliel unfortunately will not be able to join us tonight. So we will say that she is just resting peacefully at the Red Palace. And Goldie, you
But
will
she
be there on
only
your.
sleeps for hours.
She's reading her books.
She's reading her books, yes.
Sorry for the craziness you probably are gonna hear.
No worries, no worries. Um, so we'll start with Zurich. Um, you know that your newfound friend Moonstalker is left in disguise. You are in your room. Anna is sleeping in the same bed beside you. Is there anything you would like to do, or are you just gonna sleep through until morning?
Take a pillow and a blanket and move to the floor.
Okay.
But yes, I will saw wood all night to get a decent night's rest.
All right. All right. So Zurich is trying to make himself comfortable on the floor. Luckily for you, that this place is, I mean, like a five-star hotel, and even the floor has this beautiful fur rug that you can cozy up next to the fire, and it's so comfortable.
Even better.
Um, Goldie, you're at the Red Palace in a very drafty, moldy room. The bed creaks and has springs kind of poking out everywhere. Um, is there something? Sorry, Moonstalker, can you mute for a
Sorry.
moment, please? That's okay.
I think because we saw Turk leave at midnight, so Goldie's probably worried. Um, but I don't think she's gonna do anything about it. Question is, do we have a window or is it an interior room?
No, you have a window. It's a very
Okay,
dingy window, yes. And you can't
and
close it completely, so there's always this cold, humid
cold,
draft.
right? Um, can we like which way would we be facing? Is it a
You'd probably be facing, if you're looking at this is the front of the building here, you'd be
Mhm.
on the left side facing north.
Okay? Because I think Goldie wants to sleep, but also wants to make sure that Turk comes back or gets back somehow.
Leave a light on for him.
I mean, yeah, we would probably leave something like make sure we can either or try to make sure and see if we can see like which way they went off because I don't
Okay.
remember where the
If
doors.
you look at the map of Tharbad,
Let me open
if
that
you're
up real
positioned on the
quick.
north side of the Red Palace, you're actually kind of looking towards the north gates.
Okay.
But it is quite far, quite a distance.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
from where you are. It's probably at least a couple of furlongs, whatever a furlong is.
Yeah. Um. And but this would be the way that Turk had to use to leave, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Like the front. Okay. So probably Goldie and Yukaliel will like maybe at least take turns to like look out and see if we can see him because we're all staying in the same room, so hopefully like he makes it back at some point because everything's going great. uh uh but yeah, I think she Gold is gonna watch for like the beginning and then at least get a full night's rest somehow, like
All right.
trying
Go ahead and
to
make
watch,
a
trying
perception
to
check
sleep.
at disadvantage,
Yeah.
just because it's so dark. It's like middle of the night.
Yeah.
12. It's still decent. So you can see the streets are empty for the most part. You do see some guards walking around in pairs, just kind of walking through the streets, patrolling. Uh, they seem half drunk though, and not really capable watchmen. Um,
Yeah.
but you don't see people in general
Okay.
just wandering the street. There's nobody on the streets at this time.
Okay. Then I don't think Gold is gonna be worried until at least it's time to wake up and Turk is if he's not there. Like she's gonna be okay until we're closer to like daybreak and then it's gonna be like rare. Um so no big actions from
Okay.
Goldie. Try to sleep
All
and
right.
try
Get that
to
long rest
yeah.
or short rest. Because
Yeah. Just a night's sleep.
Okay. Turk, come to you now. You are scrambling over the ram, over the outer walls. There's still a small moat between you and freedom, and you hear behind you a couple of soldiers carrying torches approaching, calling out, "Oh, who's there?"
So I can see these torches.
Mhm.
How far away are they?
They're probably maybe 80 feet or so, 80 to 100 feet away.
And so at the point that we were, so we are now over the ram, or we were scrambling over the
You're
ram.
scrambling over it right now. You're probably around the top of it now, right now.
Okay. Um, Orlas is the cobbler.
Borlas is the cobbler, yes.
I'm going to ask Orlas. Orlas, do you know where the standing stones on the hill are?
Yes, I do indeed. They're quite the landmark on the way into town.
You need to get there, but there's guards following us. Hide here. There must be lots of rubble around. This is a fallen wall, right?
Yes, exactly.
You hide here. Be really quiet, and then I'm going to go the other direction. I'm going to lead these soldiers, these guards away from you. Wait till you see or hear me take them in the other direction, and you get up to the standing stones. Somebody should be waiting for you there.
Okay. All right. I'll find a place to hide. And he scrambles around looking for a place to hide. I'm going to make a stealth check for him.
You're
All right.
asking me a question?
Oh, no. I'm just saying this
Oh,
is a stealth check. Um, Not bad. And the fact that it is dark will help him. But where do you go now?
I'm going back over
Okay.
180 degrees away from him,
Okay.
and I'm not trying to be stealthy. In fact, I'm going to dash
Okay.
and then use my bonus action to hide.
All right. So you dash. I do need to make. Do you need you to make a stealth check for your hide? See if you can do
Okay,
that.
so that, yeah, I'm going to have to close the Tharbad map. If it's dark, do I get bonus or
No,
just regular?
no, just regular. Unless you have special ability to allow you give you advantage in dim light. But still, I mean, 22. They'll have disadvantage if they don't have night dark vision beyond their torchlight for perception checks. So you dash. You since you're not trying to stealth, they do see this movement coming down the ram and moving in the direction opposite to where Borlas is hiding. And they say, "You stop!" And you see them rush towards where you were. Uh, do you
So,
remain hidden
yes.
there,
So,
or do you keep moving?
I'm sorry?
Do you remain hidden where you are, or do you want to keep moving?
Um, so this area looks rather rubbly.
It is lots of hiding
Um,
places.
Lots of hiding places, and I appear to have found a very good one.
Yes.
So, um, I'm going to. Which direction are they going? So they're coming to where they saw me moving, but are they moving
Yes.
closer to me?
Generally, in your area, they're within like 30 feet of your area. That's the last time they saw you. Then they lost sight of you. They're just kind of like wandering around this area looking for you.
Okay. Um, and do I have? I guess I can roll perception. Are they like the other guards that we saw when we were making our way there? Are they? Are they speaking to each other? Are they saying something? Are they slurring their words? Are they kind of? Can I tell if they're have been drinking in the
No,
guardhouse?
these guys have not been. Unlike the city guards, these guys that are watching the gates seem a little bit more competent. At least they're not drunk. Um, but they cannot find you. They're just kind of wandering around. Can't find a little brat. He's where the hell is he? And they spend about 5 minutes just kind of wandering around with their torchlight turned. They get within a few feet of you. They don't notice you at all. They just walk right past you. I say, "Oh, all right, Bob. Let's just say it was a mouse, right? Lieutenant doesn't need to know about this. Um, yeah, it was just a big rat. That's all it was." Uh, and then they start making their way back towards the gate.
Okay, so are they looking over their shoulders?
No, they've given up.
Um, about what time of night is it now? I met the lieutenant, Lieutenant
It's
Brass.
probably closer to 12:30 a.m.
Okay. Um, I'm going to make my way through the rubble back up to. Now I've got to open up that map again. Up to the inner gate.
All right.
So is that interior wall of the city that's in better repair? Correct.
It is. There are some gaps within it around the northern sections towards the scarier part of town. If you want to go that way.
Oh yes, I see now. I just opened it up again. If it wasn't obvious. Um, yes, there's a bit of a foresty area there. I imagine we were crossing sort of just a little bit past where that one building looks like an F.
I can.
Do you see that F just on the north side of the causeway?
So like relative to number 2. Where is that?
Oh yes, just sort of parallel to the causeway. Just keep on going up from 2. There's sort of a something that looks like an F, like a capital F.
Okay. But that's in the outer district still.
Oh yes. What I mean is,
Yeah.
I think that's we had gone up that direction. So I'm going to sort of turn around and sort of try to follow that little bit of a foresty area that you
Okay.
see there. It almost looks like a reversed C.
Yeah. So this area here is a lot of it is farmland. So there are
Oh,
trees that are growing out here, some orchards and whatnot. Um, so yeah, you can easily traverse that area.
no graveyards.
Not in this area, no.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So I'll make my way back up to 2 then. Through now, I see the walls. Yeah, there are quite a few holes there. Yeah.
Do you want to make your way through one of the holes in the wall then?
Yes.
All right. I need you to make another stealth check. All right. You let's say you make which hole would you say you were going for? The one closest to the Red Palace, number 2, or a little further north?
Yeah, so further away from the gate, I think that would be the smartest thing to do. That's what I
Okay.
would have done. Sort of, if you follow that foresty area, sort of just a little bit to the right of that, or
Okay.
Turk's left as he's going south.
Right. So there are a number of smaller gates connecting the outer district to the inner district. Those are all guarded though.
Oh,
You
are those gates? Those things that
Yeah,
look like
those small
little?
they look like little arches. Yeah, those are gates and they're all guarded. The only gap, the next gap is way up there closer to the ghost pit. So there's a tiny gap just by the Red Palace, and then the next there's a couple of gates, then there's a gap.
Yeah, like a road. You can see
Yeah,
that it's,
exactly.
and that's the way we went to get out
No,
before that.
you went out through the gate. Remember, Lieutenant Brass just allowed Borlas to walk through the inner gate. You guys were actually on the causeway.
Yeah, but what I meant was when we went to the ghost pit area.
Oh yeah, you're still in the inner district, but you're kind of on the way to the ghost pit area. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. I thought we were further along than that.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Um, darn it. I'm going to try to cross the whole. Now that I see that there are gates
Mhm,
further along, like smaller ones though, I'm going
mhm.
to try to get over the crumbly wall closest to the palace.
Number two. All
Yeah.
right. Um, 12.
Take my time, reconnoiter.
Okay. Um, Anna. Sorry, Goldie. um,
I was like, the
as
assassin or me?
Hi, Goldie.
Oh no.
As you're just kind of chilling in your room, occasionally like looking out the window to see what's going on. With your perception roll of 12 and Turk's stealth roll of 12, you manage to see his little silhouetted figure kind of creeping through the shadows, trying to get back into the inner district through a gap in the wall. However, you see not a block away two guards with a dog walking in his direction.
Okay. How far is he away from me? Is this hall or the I guess the
So
hall.
from your window to where you see him, it's actually not that far. Maybe 80 feet.
Oh,
You could if you yell, you could hear you.
I. Let me see what I have. The window's open.
The window's stuck open. Yes.
Okay. Then I am, if I can, real fast, I am going to turn on whatever candle we have in the room and take out the dagger that's now my brother's and try to. Hold on, let me open the map. So the hole, me, the hole, and the guards are going towards the hole.
Yeah. So between you and Turk is a straight line, and the
Hmm.
guards are coming in like a 90-degree angle. So just outside of Turk's vision right now, but
Okay,
they'll clearly see him come over the wall. If
okay. Then I'm gonna grab the dagger and as strong as I can, just toss it. Like not in their direction, but close to that area, and then just hide. Eucaliel's sleeping.
All right, go ahead and make a dex
Oh,
roll for me, please, and then you can add your
okay,
proficiency.
okay, okay.
Just want to
Are
see
you
if you
trying
get
to
it.
hit me?
No, going the
Oh,
opposite direction.
Okay.
all right,
So
22. All
close
right,
to them, but they turn around. My idea is that they turn around and they don't cross him.
all right. So you hurl your dagger with as much might as you can. The range of a thrown dagger, I believe, is 60. So you can't
Yeah,
quite reach them, but it is
yeah.
close enough. And they just hear the sound of metal clattering on stone, and they say, "What was that, Rex? Go figure out what that is." And then they let the dog go, and the dog goes barking off towards where the dagger went.
Okay.
And the guards wait.
Oh, fuck.
Turk, you hear this. You hear the clattering of faint clattering of metal, and you hear a dog barking to your left, not that far away.
I think you mentioned 30 feet, 40 feet.
Yeah, they're about 30 feet from you, but you don't see them because they're around the corner. So just before you come around the corner, you hear that.
So this is like this area along this broken wall. This is a street, a road
It's a
of
street.
some sort.
It's a street.
Are this may be a silly question because it certainly isn't medieval London, but are there torches or lights or
No,
lamps? No. And what is the state of the moon? Is there a moon?
that is it. If even if there was a moon, it would be heavily clouded and blocked by fog and mist. So it would be dim light at best.
Where was I had to exit through a service entrance, servant's entrance to
Right.
to the
That's
palace.
on the south side of the wall. South side.
Okay.
So you're on
And
the north side. You have to go right around the other side of the building, get to the servants' entrance.
okay. So how wide is that, well, street, boulevard?
It's about 80 feet. It's a wide boulevard between the wall and the Red Palace.
Okay. So peek around the corner, establish which direction the guards are looking.
They're looking where the dog ran off to, which is to the south and not out and away from you.
Okay. So that's more sort of east, I guess,
Yeah,
northeast.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay. I'm going to take a big risk. I'm going to, because it's a dog. The dog's going to sniff me out. So, and if they're that close, I'm going to have to take advantage to for this wonderful disorientation that has been caused for me. I'm going to dash and then bonus action dash across the boulevard, trying to make it to the southwest side of the palace.
Wow, nice double dash from. Oh man, I forgot about that. Okay, yeah. So yeah, you speedily go run across the boulevard. Can you make a stealth check with disadvantage, just because you are just
But
running?
because it's so dark, does that maybe give me
That would impede their perception, their visual perception.
ah
But
ah?
And I'm gonna say we have fellowship points. I feel like if needed.
I'm sorry,
yep,
I was trying to drag it down and it. So I'll
no
roll
worries.
again.
Yep, just roll again. I'll take the lower of the two rolls.
Wah
All right.
wah wah.
So even with your hairy hobbit feet, as you run across this boulevard as fast as you can, you step in a puddle and then make a splashing noise. The guards turn their heads. They see you making a dash for it across. Hey, you, Rex, get him. I need you to make an initiative roll for me, please.
That dog's far away. They see something. They don't know what they see.
Yeah.
Okay. It's been a while. I can't even remember where that is anymore.
Oh, just because I'm not doing the encounter, just make a dex check for me.
Oh, okay.
Yep. These dogs can run very quickly. All right. So you're running. You are pretty much by the time they see you, you've already gone around the corner. So you have a really good head start on these guys and the dog for that matter. But you hear them yell after you. They call for their dog to chase you. And as you turn around the corner to get to the servants' entrance, you hear the dog snarling and snapping come around the corner, and you see it. And at that point in time, you have one action before it catches you. What would you like to do?
And how far away? Okay, so I've made it. I've made it around the corner of the palace.
Mm-hmm.
I can hear the dog running after me. I am not. I am more near the main entrance to the palace than I am to the servants'
Yeah,
entrance.
and there are also 2 guards standing in front of the main entrance too, and they clock you.
Um, I'm going to dash up to them and say, "Take me to Lieutenant Brass."
All right, you run right up to the guards.
Yeah, and hide behind them. Not hide, but you know what I mean. Use them as.
All right, they see this hobbit come running up the front steps of the Red Palace, the palace which is home to the captain of Tharbad. They lower their spears at you, threateningly. Hold there, hobbit. And this dog is coming right up behind you, and it's chased by the 2 guards that are owners of the dog. And it states your business.
Take me to Lieutenant Brass. He knows what my business is.
They look at each other for a moment, and they say, "You realize that you're out after curfew."
I was out after curfew with Lieutenant Brass earlier.
Lieutenant Brass is not here.
Okay. Just make sure that dog doesn't. Yeah, and I'm like,
By the power of Captain Gurno, as representatives of the city of Tharbad, you are under arrest for breaking curfew.
arrest me.
They approach you and they grab your arms. And they don't take you into the Red Palace. The other 2 guards have now approached, and the dog is still barking at you violently. The 2 guards at the door speak briefly with the 2 guards with the dog, and they say, "Take him to Garth Toron." They nod, and the 2 guards with the dog start frog marching you away from the Red Palace. I am going to switch over now to Moonstalker.
Nice place to switch.
All right. So, Moonstalker, you are in the Bridge Inn.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I just have one request.
Yep.
If you're going to eat, that's fine, but
Oh,
please, if you're going to eat,
sorry.
don't eat with the
No,
mic on.
something happened with my mic because it's never been this sensitive. Sorry.
Okay. No worries. It's just like that's one of the things that just kind of
No, I don't like it either. So
nails
I'm
on
sorry.
chalkboard.
I've always made sure that it wasn't coming through, but something happened with an update or something this week. Sorry about that. I apologize.
Okay, no worries. You are in the Bridge Inn waiting for Gwen, the contact you were ordered by Orthel to meet. You notice that the inn itself is pretty empty. The only people here is a lone lute player sitting by the hearth. There are maybe 1 or 2 patrons in here as well. And this charming individual, hold on, let me see who he is. There he is. Who is the innkeeper and chef, proprietor of the Bridge Inn. And as soon as you enter, he says, "You want a drink, right?" And he just takes a monstrous mug of ale and just plops it on your table.
Yeah. Yes, kind sir. Thank you. My best old man voice.
You tell me how you like the ale. And he comes back a moment later with a plate of meat. There's no other way to describe it. You have no idea what kind of meat it is, but it smells okay. And he throws that on your table too. The food kind of jumps off the plate as it smashes down on the table. Eat. And he just
Thank you.
stands and watching you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll take a bite.
You can see he's leaning in, watching for your expression. The food is the meat is tough, but it
Passable.
passable. Yeah.
It says, ah, this is the best thing I've had to eat in a fortnight. Thank you, kind sir.
Don't lie to me.
I'm not lying.
Bye, liars. What? Tell me. Too much oregano?
Uh, no, but maybe overcooked just
Not
a
enough
little.
pepper.
Maybe it's overcooked a little bit.
Yeah. Overcooked. You can just see him like clench his massive fists, and he starts turning red.
The flavor's good though. The flavor's good.
He grabs the plate of meat off your table and goes like storming off back into the kitchen.
Okay.
Uh, and it was just after that that Gwen appears at the door, looking around, sees the room quite empty, and sees you, and is about to come towards you when Orla steps behind her with a stiletto. You see all this happening. What would you like to do?
Yeah, and that's where we left off last time. I stood
Yep.
up to my full height, and I'll look at Orla and say, just because I saved your life once does not mean I will not end your life now. Release her.
She looks at you, looks back at Gwen. You can see the stiletto like just pointed at the back of her neck. And you can see that she's kind of grabbing Gwen by the arm, kind of like an arm lock. And she marches her towards you. And Gwen just kind of hisses at you and says, "Who's your friend?"
An emissary from Orthanc.
She says, "Will you tell her to release me?"
Again, I'm gonna place my hand on my sword hilt. Orla, remove your stiletto from her neck. Now.
Orla shoves Gwen onto one of the benches, quite brusquely. Keeps her stiletto out, but under the table and in her lap, and turns to you, Moonstalker, and says, "Who are you meeting at this hour when we have such an important task at hand?"
You know I had a mission to accomplish here in
You are
town.
keeper of the documents.
The documents are with your sister and the dwarf. And your sister knew I was coming here.
She had asked me to follow you to see who you would meet. And now tell me, who is this spy?
It has nothing to do with our business.
It has everything to do with our business.
Actually, no, it doesn't. It has nothing to do with our business. It has to do with my business that has nothing to do with the rest of you that I came here with.
Anything that can jeopardize our mission to get these documents safely to Isengard is
As
my
I said,
business.
the documents are safely with the dwarf and your sister. This cannot jeopardize anything.
And Gwen just chimes in. What documents?
Bound for Orthanc.
And there we have it, says Orla. You have divulged the nature of our mission, the identity of our task to this stranger. Now I must kill her.
No, it is not a stranger. As I told you,
You can tell me
she
who
is
she
no
is.
threat to you.
Tell
She
me who she
is.
is, or she will not survive the
She's a
night.
ranger. That's all you need to know.
She pauses when you say that and looks Gwen over like appraisingly. She looks like no ranger to me.
We come in all shapes and sizes.
Then you shall discuss your business with me here.
I'm assuming all I was supposed to tell her is it's time to get the hell out of Dodge, right? Basically.
Yes, you were mainly supposed to make contact with her. Because Gwen has a message.
Oh, she has a message for me to pick up. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I'm assuming that her position is compromised because John the Leaping knows who she is as well, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So John the Leaping is compromised.
Oh, that fool. I don't know why Arathel ever trusted him. Where is he?
He's at the Stones right now, but he's being traded for a hostage in town.
So I have some time then.
I would not say more than dawn at the latest.
My
And
work
that
here
would be
is
pushing it.
not done yet, though. She pulls out a note from her pocket. It looks briefly over at Orla before handing it to you. Orla is going to try and grab the piece of paper before it gets to you.
Yeah. Well, she's
Can
going
you
to have
make
to fight me for
a
it.
dex check for me, please, to see who grabs it
Sure.
first?
There we go. Are you hearing my son in the background talking?
Not really. No.
Okay.
No.
I just want to make sure because it lit up green, so I just want to make sure you weren't hearing that.
There's some
Just
background
a
noise. It's okay.
straight up dex check
Uh-huh.
or athletics or anything.
Dex.
Dex.
Just a dex check.
Ah, this is gonna hurt.
No, I didn't roll so well, so you just have to beat an 11.
Where? Sorry, where? How do I get to do the dex check? Do I do it off the character sheet?
You can, or just roll a d20 and add your dex bonus, whatever is easier.
Oh, okay. No, that's fine. So I do that off the check mark D20. I don't know how to do the +1. It's +1.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh God.
So Orla manages to snatch the piece of paper before you and immediately unfolds it note and reads it.
As she does that, unsheath my sword and put it up against her belly under the table.
All right.
Release
This
the
is going
paper.
to be an initiative situation.
Oh God, she's gonna fight? Really?
My cat just caught a bird.
Oh, now I see where to do the dex check. I forgot I had to click the skills tab. Oh, my bad. All right. I'll learn the system one day. Go get your cat if you need to. Don't worry about it.
No. She's just sitting there with the cat in her mouth, with the bird in her mouth.
Now I don't see where to do initiative though, because it's not in the skills list. Oh,
Again, just make a dex save, dex roll for me.
Dex roll. Okay.
Yeah. Again, I rolled like garbage, so you should be able to beat her.
Did it do it? No. Dex. Oh, check. There we go. Sorry. Golly.
5. Um, all right, so she still wins. She sees you unsheath your sword. I'm just going to do a contested athletics check between her and Gwen.
Chat.
So this is Orla. Oh my gosh. And this is Gwen.
Yay, Gwen.
All right, so Gwen manages to evade Orla's grasp as she tries to like grapple her. You see this happen. What would you like to do?
I'm going to put pressure on the sword against her belly. Hand over the note and stop this nonsense now. I've been nothing but honorable when it comes to you.
She sees the sword at her belly, realizes that she does not have the upper hand in this particular situation, and throws the note onto the table.
Thank you.
Who is this Hirlenon person?
I don't know. Is this somebody I know?
No, you've never heard this name before.
I do not know. This message is not for me, and it's none of my business, nor is it any of your business. It has nothing to do with the mission that you are on and I am assisting you with. Now, please, act like a normal, civilized person. And I'll take the note and tuck it into my armor.
My master would be very
I'll
curious as
release
to know
the sword.
why this man of Gondor is looking for Moria.
It's none of his business.
You don't know my master very well, then, to say such things. Everything is his business. I will be
No,
sure I inform him of this event, and you can answer his questions yourself when the time comes to it.
and I'll look back at Gwen and say, I'm still not saying her name. I think you really should leave. Either
Gwen
leave
just looks at
or
you and looks back. Who is this bitch?
I told you, a messenger from Orthanc. That's all I know. I've got thrust into their business to help them, so help protect a child of Imladris traveling with this person.
There is something happening here. And she looks back at Orla and then back to you. May I speak frankly in front of your friend?
I would say nothing that you don't want revealed to other people. Other than that, sure.
But this is important information. Are you planning on seeing
Friend is going to head north.
I see. And she knows something.
For matters of two separate issues. One is to take the hostage that we were speaking of back to its home, and then two, there's an issue with the Rangers that needs dealt with.
I see. Yes, I have heard whispers of that. Even this far south. Well, if I am to leave Tharbad, then perhaps I can meet with our friend, myself, then, and deliver the message in person. It has been quite some time since I've seen her. It would be nice.
Yes, actually, that might be a good idea. I did not want our mutual friend traveling by herself, but as you can see, I'm tasked with something else at this particular time.
I see. Yes. And thank you for the warning.
And I'll slide the message back to her. And I've never looked at it, so I have no idea what it says, and I don't want to know.
Okay. She takes the message and tucks it into her cloak. And, very well then. I don't have much time. If I need to be out of Tharbad by dawn, I hope our paths cross again in better times
I'll tilt my head.
and in better company, as she gives a side eye to Orla.
Yeah. And then to Darn, I'll say, may Elendil guide your actions.
And to you as well. And she makes the sign, the forehead, the lips, and the heart to you, and bows slightly. And you can see Orla kind of inwardly moan when she sees that. But then Gwen quickly stands up and exits the building.
Yep, I'll sheathe my sword. And I'll say, shall we return now to your sister?
Indeed, but I must warn you, you should not be so cavalier with your time and who you meet with. My sister and I are quite devoted to our task, and I would expect no less of you.
I've devoted myself to this task. You knew I had a mission to do. Your sister knew I had a mission to do while we were here in town. Beyond that, from here on out, I'm here to protect the elf and make sure the message arrives to Orthanc.
Very well. But let it be known that the only reason that young lady walked out this door is because I owe you a blood debt. And the fact that she is alive now, I consider that debt paid.
If any harm would have befallen her, you and your sister would never return to Orthanc.
She smiles at that. I see we've reached an understanding.
I'll bow my
Shall we?
head. I'm going to stand back up at my hunchback height and head towards the door.
All right. You see Titus, the monster innkeeper, come out of the kitchen with another plate full of meat. He sees you leaving. Where are you going?
As he comes up, I will. Let me see here. Where's my items? Oh, equipment. There it is. I will, because I'm going by the bar. I'll put down 5 copper and say, "Thank you, kind sir. But my daughter came and found me. I must be off now. My wife is very ill."
But the meat. We must try the meat.
I'll reach over and get a piece off the plate and try it.
Before he picks up looks to be like a turkey leg and just passes it to you with his greasy, dirty hands.
That's fine. I'll take it and try it.
And now this is borderline raw now.
Gotcha. But how's the flavor? Flavor good?
It tastes like raw turkey.
Okay. Oh, fine. This is a very fine bird. Thank you, sir.
He's
You're
looking
very
at you.
kind.
Can you make a deception check for me, please?
Sure. I just took off 5 copper off my sheet and skills deception. Probably not going to succeed this one, but we'll see. All right. 12.
And now we'll roll his insight. Okay, he's not very insightful, luckily for you. He seems to buy your phrase and says, he gives a big, broad, toothy grin. Half his teeth are missing.
Yeah.
Um, and he says, take it with you. Leg for the road.
Thank you, kind sir. I am very grateful. Like I said, this is the best meal I've had in weeks.
He seems very pleased with himself as he kind of parades this raw turkey around the restaurant now and offers it up to the other patrons who kind
Okay.
of very frighteningly take it and say,
Say,
good.
good. All right.
All
Yeah.
right. So you guys can make it back to Amelia's
I'll,
home.
I'll toss the turkey leg to the first dog I see, or rat, whatever.
Okay. With Orla's help, you manage to stay off the main streets and avoid any attention from the guards. I make it back to Amelia's place. So is there anything else any of you would like to do that night?
Just we're waiting for them to rendezvous with us, like they said they were gonna do. So unless we get another message from the bird, I'll leave the shutter cracked open so that the bird can come in. If it comes back, you can open it up or whatever, call for me, and I can hear it. And then I'll go to bed and get some sleep.
Okay. No more birds. But Turk, you are escorted.
I was just going to say, as they're leading me away
Mhm.
to the prison, which I can see is quite a substantial building with its own moat.
Mhm.
As that's happening, I mean, could you describe? You mentioned frog marching. I mean, quite literally, do they have my arms behind my back and
Yes, they're
they're
holding
they're
you.
they're oppressing me?
Yes.
I'm going to start sort of chatting in a very um, non-confrontational way, and I said, "Oh, gentlemen, it was lovely meeting Captain Gurnow and Lady Stock earlier today, and you know it was such a lovely time we had with them, and the meal we had it was absolutely wonderful. And then you know Lieutenant Tom Brass, I think you know Lieutenant Brass, don't you? Well, we went over to the pub around the corner, and sadly I got a little turned around, don't you know? So it seems that we've had a miscommunication here. Perhaps maybe you should talk to Lieutenant Brass before you do anything that you may regret.
Can you make a persuasion check for me, please?
Yes.
Your DC is going to be quite high, unfortunately.
That's not going to
All
cut
right.
it.
Oh, it's a -1 too. Okay.
Yeah.
um. So yeah, you would have needed that 20 to persuade these guys.
Oh, jeez.
Um. Um. Yeah, because one thing becomes very apparent to you. Whatever you say might be true, but they know the rules, and you are caught out on the streets after curfew, and they know the penalty to them if they let you go. So they're more afraid of the captain and his retribution than whatever you're talking about. It's much more real to them.
Yeah, I'm just asking them to make sure Lieutenant Brass knows that I would like to talk with him.
Okay. You arrive at the outer gates of Garth Toron, the infamous prison of Tharbad. From within, you hear what sounds to be the howls of despairing individuals. Not a pleasant place at all. This prison is built on the ruins of a castle. For the most part, it looks like a lot of the stones in the outer area have been harvested to rebuild buildings within the inner district. But what remains is still quite formidable. And they use, um, the guards will tell you this on the way. You're going to be sequestered in the upper cells. That's kind of like until they figure out what to do with you. Then, if you are deemed uh, a threat to either the city or Captain Tharbad, you'll be moved to the lower cells, and nobody comes back from the lower cells.
So maybe dropping some names did help a little bit.
Yeah, until they figure out what to do with you. So you're greeted at the gate by an individual. Let's see if I can find him here. There you go. Um, an officious looking individual. But since this is the middle of the night, he's in his bedrobes still. He puts his, but still manages to put this big, luxurious looking red velvet cloak around him. And he has like a big office of jailer kind of necklace around him. So, who is this bloody cretin in the middle of the night? And he looks at you. Take him to the upper cells. I'm sure there's one at least marginally clean. Um, and he kind of just turns away.
I'll say, well, pretty much the same thing that I mentioned earlier. It's like, but sir, I mean, um, we've dined with the captain and Lady Stock earlier today. I'm a visitor to this town, and there's just been a miscommunication here. Lieutenant Brass, Tom Brass, he's a acquaintance of mine, don't you know? He should be able to straighten this all out.
Can you make a persuasion check again with advantage?
Natural 20.
This one might be a little lower.
Okay. Woo.
All right, nicely done. He pauses as soon as you drop all those names, and the guards are still kind of behind you, kind of frog marching you towards the cells. On second thought, bring him to my office. Ensure that he's bound and not a threat.
Bound.
And ensure there's no nasty pointy things on him. Uh, 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 I'll be with him in a moment. And these two guards escort you. You enter what looks to be the inner courtyard of this former castle. The central tower is where the prison is. But where you've been taken is a small kind of side office, kind of tucked in against the inner wall. They open the door, they light some candles, and they sit you down on a chair and they tie your hands behind you. And you know there is a guard posted outside the door.
Okay. There was no mention of this jailer's name.
Not yet.
Not yet. Is he in the room with me now?
No, he went off someplace. He said he'd be there in a moment. He's probably going to get changed.
I'll say, gentlemen, is there any reason why my arms need to be bound? I would just like to smoke my pipe.
Can you make another persuasion check?
Okay. Let's use up all the persuasions. No, okay, no, not happening.
All right. So they are stoically silent. They will not speak with you. So after a few moments, it's now probably closer to 1:30 to 2 a.m., middle of the night. And the officious looking man, comes back. This time he's all dressed as you see him in his full vest and regalia. And he motions for the guards to wait outside, and he looks at you for a moment and sits behind his desk. It's not a very big desk, but you can see around him like various flags, emblems. Looks like he's an important guy.
Do I recognize any of the
Make a history check.
sigils and things? I'm sorry. What was the check?
History.
Okay, so that would be not investigation.
Old
Oh,
lore.
sorry, old lore. Old lore.
And they're not in alphabetical order.
No, they're not, unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah, Turk wouldn't really know that stuff.
No, they look important though.
Mhm.
Go ahead and make an insight check though.
Oh,
Natural
come on!
20.
I should have had that earlier.
All right. You can tell by just the way this individual carries himself and the extra care and meticulousness that he has taken to arrange these emblems and these things, that perhaps he's a little full of himself, and that he's raising his station a little more than what he really is, trying to appear as such. But he sits now opposite you from this desk, and he looks at you and says, "So tell me, Hobbit, what is your name?"
Ah, thank you very much for taking me to your office. It's very much appreciated. Your most highness of
Oh, simply call me Master of Garth Torren, please.
master, yes, master. Um, could if we're going to have a gentlemanly conversation, would you mind if my arms weren't bound and perhaps we could share a pipe together?
Oh, by the way, did you have any weapons on you?
Uh, I would have had sort of yes, yeah. I mean, are we allowed to carry weapons in the city?
Yeah, you are, but at this point in time, he specifically instructed his
Yes,
guards to disarm you. So all your weapons have been confiscated.
yes. I would not have taken. Okay, let's go with that because yes,
Okay.
none of that was established earlier.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Um,
So, would you share a pipe with me, perhaps?
I've heard good things about pipeweed from the Shire. Would you happen to have any on you?
Yes, I do. In fact, my cousin is a fabulous farmer of weed. You may have heard of them, in fact.
Can you make another persuasion check?
Oh my God!
So he says, I see what you're doing. That's right. You are trying to distract me from the matter at hand, which is, of course, the matter of you breaking curfew. Now, what is a hobbit wandering around the streets of Tharbad, well beyond curfew, dropping names that they have no right dropping? And I ask you once more time, and I will not ask again. What is your name?
Oh! I certainly, sir. I was not trying to distract you from your job, Master. Not at all. Not at all. My name is Tarek. Tarek the Hobbit. So,
Tarek the Hobbit. Well, Tarek the Hobbit, what were you doing on the streets of Tharbad?
may I ask? I only came to the city today. Your lovely, revitalized town. When does curfew begin? At what time? At what bell of? Do you have a bell that rings out the time?
Curfew occurs when it's dark.
And how do people leave that lovely inn and get home in time before the curfew?
You mean the Bridge Inn?
Yes, the Bridge Inn.
No one should be leaving. They should only be guests that stay within. People should not be wandering the streets after dark.
Oh, I see. That was not. Unfortunately, that was not conveyed to me. So it's a misunderstanding, my sir, my good master, my
Did
good
you
master.
not read the rules upon entering the city?
No, we actually had Lieutenant Tom Brass take us from the gate and most graciously took us to the palace.
Now, why would the lieutenant of the watch escort you? Are you a hobbit of importance?
Oh, I would not say that necessarily, but some of my friends maybe in my party that I was traveling with.
And who is in your party? And he
Oh,
pulls out a quill and is about to write down names.
oh. I'm backing myself into a corner here.
I'm waiting.
Oh yes, sir. I'm doing my best to. You know, I've had a few drinks this evening, so you have to forgive me for my short memory, or what appears to be. Don't you know? Don't you know? So,
You
well, I
must
know
forgive my
when.
short temperedness in this moment. You have, in fact, woken me up in the middle of the night, breaking
Oh,
curfew, dropping names. I just simply need to know who you are, who your friends are, what you're doing in town.
well, we're just merchants passing through. In fact, I'm people of my folk probably clean out your privies all the time. We are very needed individuals. Our services, don't you? You know, and if anything
So
bad happens
you
to me,
are important shit shovelers. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
and is that a job that you think that any person of
Why
Tharbad should
would
have to do?
the lieutenant of the watch escort people who shovel shit for a living?
Because palaces need to have shit shoveled too.
Hmm. You can just see him start writing something in his journal. And who did you say your friends were again? I need names.
Um, yes, there's the digger who is down by the river. I have not even had a chance to get down to meet them. You know, those folk who partake of my business.
The names, please. And again,
Um,
I will not ask again.
certainly. There's Digger Tom and Bill and Bob and are you right getting all these down?
He starts writing. Can you make a deception check for me, please?
Perception,
Deception.
deception.
Hey, should we consider a fellowship point here? I,
I'm digging a big hole right now.
I vote yes. If anybody, I move yes.
All right, I'm
Sure.
gonna make an intuition check for him. I'll roll in front of you. Okay, roll. All right. Do you want to burn fellowship points?
It's going to be tough to beat that.
I vote yeah. Let's burn one, or else we're never gonna see Turk again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, we should have rolled that back
Sure.
during the natural one for persuasion.
I'm on
Moonsucker, it
board.
has to be unanimous.
I said yes. Did you not hear me?
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So you got a yes if you want to roll again.
Come
And
on.
we'll take one fellowship point off.
Yep.
There you go. Woo!
Woo-hoo!
All right. So Bill and Ted. Is that did I get that right?
Bill and Ted, yep.
Bill and Ted. Excellent adventure.
The only names that came into my head.
All right. Fascinating. Um, and so you are in town
To
to
clean up
shovel
the city.
shit.
Yes.
So you are meant to. Well, if that's the case, you should be on the Middle Island. You shouldn't be on the North Bank.
Oh, yes, but I mean, I had to reconnoiter the job that we needed to do. Because we're nightmen, right? Nightmen. We need to move things out at night.
Of course, yes. No one wants to see shit being shoveled
Yes,
during the middle
and
of the
so
day.
this is the miscommunication. I'm sorry, but this is the miscommunication.
I see. And you feel that Lieutenant Brass will be able to vouch for you.
I'm certain of that, sir.
And when did you say you came in through the gates
Just earlier today.
and escorted by Lieutenant Brass?
Well, I mean, no, I wouldn't necessarily say escorted, but no, we certainly met Lieutenant Brass, and he brought us to the palace. Yes. So is that an escort?
He lays his quill down for a moment and folds his hands in his lap, and as he looks at you, hmm, you wouldn't happen to know anything about a certain cobbler that was once held here within Garth Toron?
I'm sorry, Master. I'm a hobbit. What would I know about cobblers?
Well, it is funny you should mention this because Lieutenant Brass came to me earlier today and mentioned that there were some folks that he had met new to town that were willing to negotiate the release of said cobbler. Now, I was just curious. Coincidence or
Hobbits don't wear shoes. I'm sorry. Cobblers are of no concern to us. It must have been somebody else.
okay. Well, in that case, I will have to hold you within our cells overnight until we have a chance to clear this up with Lieutenant Brass himself.
That sounds perfectly acceptable to me, sir. Please, I don't think I need to be bound, do I?
Once you've reached your cell, you will be unbound and chained.
And chained?
Yes, you will be chained, as is procedure for all our guests who stay here at Garth Toron.
I have visions of like the chains hanging from the walls.
Yeah, this is not a pleasant prison. No. So, is there anything else you would like to say in your defense before I jail you?
Um, I have opened my. I have nothing hidden, sir.
Very
Nightman,
well.
Nightman looking to move his gong during the middle of the night to make sure that it doesn't disturb the palace or other folk.
Oh,
That's
very
the
well,
only
Mr.
reason I was.
Gonghammer. I will ensure that we find a cell suitable, perhaps, to your profession.
Ah,
And then he raps hard on his desk, and you see a guard open the door. Uh, take him to the cell closest to the latrines, please.
oh boy.
Uh, and you are escorted out. All right. And you are brought to the cells in the central tower. um, there are s- you're brought into the main entrance, and as soon as you're inside the central tower, it is a massive structure, and it's been hollowed out. But lining the walls are these makeshift cells, and there's kind of like layers and platforms. So you're inside this cylinder, and there are cells going around the side of it, interior walls, and there are just level upon level of them going, and
Yeah.
they are They seem full, and you hear groans and clattering of chains and whatnot. Rats scurrying about everywhere. This place is horrible. Um, and this is of the upper cells. This is luxury. So they bring you to a set of cells on the ground floor, to near the back, next to the latrine, which is basically just a hole in the ground. And yeah, it reeks here. And it doesn't seem like anyone here has cleaned this place in quite some time. You are used to that, I guess, to a certain degree. But yeah, they put you into that cell, and they don't chain you to the wall, but they do put a manacle around one of your ankles, and that is chained to the wall. And they close the door on you, and that is where you'll spend the night. You do not get the benefit of a short rest in this place. Just because of rats running over you, the horrible screams that keep piercing the night, preventing you from getting a good night's sleep. There is one thing. Can you make a perception check for me, please, while you are tucked away in this
Apparently, I've got the
place?
time to be perceptive.
All right. The only thing you notice as you peer out the bars into this interior of this tower and you look up, there is still a ceiling, but there are like cracks in the ceiling where you can see the night sky or the mist and the fog and the occasional star trying to twinkle through the cloudy, overcast sky. You occasionally catch glimpses of something moving up there, just a shadow moving very quickly, um, and hunched over some humanoid, perhaps. Uh, in the shadows, you don't know if they're playing tricks on you, but it looks like this, whatever this is, has wings.
So, just to clarify, if I can look up through cracks and see stars and things moving, then there's no cells above me.
Oh no, there are. There you're but you're the way because all the cells face inward, right? And you're just kind of stacked on top of each other with levels. You can still see up, kind of like it's a it's a wide tower. It's not narrow. It's so you can see the far side and the ceiling on the far side.
Oh, I see. Okay. No, no, I have a good vision of because I remember seeing what the old jails,
Yeah,
GOAL,
goals. Yeah,
yeah,
goals. Get gowls or whatever.
in London, and yeah, they're pretty frightening places. Um, Now, when they put, just curious, more detail than anything else, when they put a manacle around my ankle, is it one of those kind of ones where they have to use a key to lock the manacle first, or
Yes,
does it just sort of go around my ankle and clip and
they
lock?
need a key.
Okay.
All right. So, while Turk languishes in Garth Toron that night, the rest of you get a decent night's sleep. Y'all can get a short rest in. Yes, Goldie.
Enjoy it.
So I saw them take him, right?
No, you saw him run towards the front of the building and out of your line of sight. You might have heard voices out there. Actually, make a perception check to see if you heard what was going on. Yeah, I was going to say your DC is 15 because it is around a corner and it's quite far
Yeah.
away.
Okay.
And they were not speaking loudly. But you did hear voices. You don't know what was going on though.
Okay, so well, but he didn't come back to us. So
No.
I saw him and then he just disappeared.
Yeah.
Okay, so Goldie is worried. She was gonna wait until the morning to be worried, but she's worried now. Um going after Turk's not smart. So what Goldie's gonna do is she is going to um I think I carry paper and ink with me of some kind. Not expensive, nothing fancy. But I'd like to write a note. I'm not gonna give it to anyone, but to Lady Stock.
Lady Stock. Okay.
Yeah. Detailing where John Leaping is, that who he is, that he is friends, and I am gonna lie, with Tom. Um, yeah, Goldie's going to put that he's friends with Tom Brass, and that they're working together to aid the Rangers.
Wow. Okay.
Goldie
It's
sees this as treason of the highest order. The fact that Turk's not back, that he didn't help him to get back. Goldie is ready to fight a troll for Turk right now. So she's gonna write that and is gonna hold it. And she's gonna have it with her and try to sleep.
all right. Um. Okay. Anything else that night? All right. So we'll say it's the next morning. You all wake up in your various locations. Um, some of you have slept more comfortably than others. I'm going to start with Zurich. What would you like to do when you wake up?
Ah, I dreamt about walking to the riverside and looking down and seeing the ring. So I want to try to make that a reality. But first, one must fill their stomach with fuel. So I will head to the kitchen.
All right. And as you leave your room, you smell a wonderful scent of breakfast cooking: sausages, hash browns, eggs frying. And you smell this too, Moonstalker. Um, Anna sees you get up, by the way, Zurich.
Yeah, he
Uh,
doesn't even acknowledge he's in the room.
and she'll follow you.
Ugh.
So
What do you do with the
If I hear
document?
his door, if I hear the door open, I'll open my door as well and
Okay.
head out.
What are you doing with the document, Zurich? Do you bring them with you?
Ah, yeah. I imagine I got my sleeping clothes on. I'll stick them in my drawers.
Do you have one of those hats, the stocking caps as well?
So, just so
No,
you
they're
know, these documents are big. They're like maps and scrolls.
well.
They're in a
Turk's
scroll
got
case.
some big. He's got some big drawers to fill.
The film.
I mean, this scroll case. I don't know if you've ever seen like architectural like cases
Yes.
where they put well,
Yes.
they're like a two to 3 feet long, right?
All
And
right. I'll carry them with me.
okay,
I think that would fit in your drawers naturally.
I'm just saying, it might look a little interesting.
Well, you might not have to carry 'em for long. That's what I was saying. I hear your door open, I will open my door and
Yeah.
follow out
Yeah.
and say,
And
"Ah, good morning, friends."
Zurich. I'm a jerky character. I'm not a jerky player. But Zurich doesn't even say good morning. He just shoves the scroll case in Moonstalker's stomach and says, "Here, these are yours."
Thank you, friend. Thank you. I'll take it and put it back inside my armor again.
All right, you now have the two sisters hovering over you,
That's fine.
Moonstalker. All right, so you guys make your way down to dinner, or breakfast, and you see Amelia down there. She's prepared a beautiful breakfast for you, as I described. You could smell it from your rooms. In addition to the food that you smell, you see plates heaping with fresh fruit. You don't know where she got it from, but it's just this is a feast that you've likely have rarely had in your life before. He says, "I hope you had a pleasant sleep last night."
How far are we from the river?
Very.
Well, it's not that far. I mean, if you wanted to, you could get there in maybe 10 minutes, 15-minute walk.
Zurich will
What's down at the river that interests you?
water.
Hmm. The gray flood. You have a particular interest in the gray flood then.
Sure. Seems like something to see.
Okay, as far as rivers go, I mean, it is probably not the prettiest, but it is quite large. Um, I do recall the Brandywine. Now that is a pleasant river, despite the fact that it goes through Hobbit country. But yeah, please avail yourself to any food that you would like. She pours some tea out for each of you too. And you, Mr. Moonstalker, how did your visit go last night? Any troubles?
I'll give a side glance at Orla, and no, everything was fine.
I'm very pleased to hear that. So, may I ask what your business is today? Do you require further shelter at mm,
Um,
my home, or?
if you do not mind, we're supposed to wait here for our friends to come and contact us when it was time to leave town today.
Oh, she looks at the table. I'll get the kitchen to prepare some more food then.
Um, I, I would say no need. I mean, we do not know what time they're going to arrive, but if they do not arrive by noon, I think we will be heading on without them.
Okay, very well. I'll still have the kitchen prepare something in case they do arrive before then. I hate to be caught unprepared.
And as you will,
And she looks
your
over.
generosity is without bounds.
Can you make an insight check for me, please, Moonstalker? And you can too, as well, Zurich, if you like. Okay, Moonstalker, as you're having this conversation with um, Amelia, you can tell that her glance occasionally goes to where those documents were on your person.
I'm sure she noticed the bulge, huh?
Hmm. um, so I'm going to quickly go over to Goldie. You wake up. You do not wake up to the pleasant smell of wonderful cooking. You wake up to the smell of mold and mildew and damp air. Um, but you still manage to get a short rest in. You hear the sounds of activity outside.
Okay. Um. Hmm. We were told that we had to get out before breakfast. Lady Stock didn't want us in there, and Lieutenant Brass. Is it Brass? Brass?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Tom Brass.
okay. Because I sometimes write it grass, and I'm like, I don't know. Um, he said he would meet us at the front the next day, right?
Hmm.
In the morning. Okay.
Yep.
Then I think having the note on my person. Yeah, we're gonna go. I think we're gonna get out. I don't think we would go even to try to find food because Lady Stock told
Okay.
us to leave before breakfast, and I don't want to cross her. Yeah, so go
Yes.
find.
Because she deemed you guys useless.
Yeah, we're gonna keep it as that.
Okay.
I would
So
say in the note, I would point out that The beginning would be an apology to Lady Stock for being deceitful, that we did not share this information before, but we had pressing matters. So I'm not giving it to her. It isn't my person. Just want to
Hmm.
put that.
Okay.
I'm scared of her a little bit. Um, but yeah, try to go and find
All right.
Tom.
So you go downstairs, pass through the Great Hall, where they were partying and feasting last night. You still see many of these lords and nobles
Hmm.
passed out on the table. You see dogs kind of sniffing through their food on the tables, eating their stuff. It's just a disgusting scene. And you make your way through to the front door where the guards kind of let you out. And I'll say Eucaliel is with you too.
Yep.
And you see Tom Brass, Lieutenant Brass, waiting for you outside. He sees you. Ah,
Kind of
good morning. And
nod.
where is your friend? And he's looking around for Turk.
Um, I would ask you the same. What did you do to him?
What do
Why
you mean?
isn't
What
he
did I do to him?
safe?
We got. Come down. Come down. He gestures you to come closer. He doesn't have to talk in front of the other guards.
Hmm.
And he says, "What do you mean? He didn't return to you? Borlas got out last night.
Great. Where is Turk? I saw him,
I have no idea. I thought
but
he
didn't you
returned last
deliver
night.
him? No, you didn't deliver him here.
That was not part of the deal.
The deal was everyone safe. He was not safe. He was alone.
Oh, Pete's sake. What? Well, he's a bit of a scoundrel. Maybe he went off and did his own thing.
Deal
How
was
well do you know
everyone
him,
safe.
really?
He is family. I know
Ah,
him more than you.
Tharbad
He
is
was
a big
alone.
place, and a hobbit is a small person. He could be anywhere. Maybe
Exactly.
he left with Borlas.
Why would he do that if he was safe? If Borlas was out of the city, safe, why would Turk go with him? We had a deal. Where is Turk?
I kept my end of the deal. Your friend Turk was with me. He saw Borlas leave the gate.
Great. But when I saw Turk, because I was watching, he was alone. He was coming through that stupid wall.
You know,
Alone.
I have to tell you that Turk friend of yours, he's a little bit of pain in the ass. Perhaps you're better off without him. He was wandering off on his own. He does his own thing. I don't know where he is. He's not my responsibility. I showed him Borlas leaving. He knows the way back to the Red Palace on his own. I'm not his keeper.
So you left him alone in a city that is dangerous, that he doesn't know, when you were supposed to keep him safe, because that was the deal. You were gonna keep them safe. Everyone was safe. He's not safe if he was alone. We don't know these rules. We don't know this town. You lied. I can march in
I
there
did not.
and tell
So
them
here,
everything.
no,
Where
no, no,
is
no. He looks around, panicked for a moment. No, 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 no need for that. No need for that. Listen, how can I make this right?
find them? Get us out of the city. Find them now.
Find him. Find him. Uh, Do
What
you know how big
happens?
Tharbad is?
What happens when you get caught by guards?
Well, if you're out past curfew and you're caught, you'll be sent to Garthoron.
Find them then. Bring
Oh,
him back. Or
if
I'm
he's in
marching my ass in
Garthoron,
there. Now.
if he got his ass caught and is in Garthoron now, that's a different ball game. It's going to cost you again to get your friend out.
It's gonna cost you for me to walk in there if I tell them that you're friends with that
Oh,
bastard. So where is he? Get him out. The deal was he was safe. We were safe. You did not keep your deal. You're not gonna get anything else from us.
Can
Where
you make
is
a
he?
persuasion check for me, please, with advantage?
Yes. Lady. Okay.
18. Okay, he says, okay. Don't get yourself all caught up in your britches. I'll take care of it. It It'll even come out of my share of the reward. Okay,
It
there's
comes
no
from your
need.
skin.
I will go to Gartoron to see if your friend is there. And where should I bring him?
You tell us. You're the one who knows this city. Your deal was we're all safe.
How about this then? I will take you to the docks. We'll meet at the docks. Okay, and from there on, our deal is done. You tell me exactly where John Leaping is, and you are out of my hands.
Can we get out of here from the docks without no one bothering us?
You can hire a boatman on the docks to take you pretty much wherever you want to go. But, I mean, there are obviously taxes and tariffs, which, again, I am not responsible for, but you will be given safe passage. And he pulls out a little, uh, what looks to be a little metal star. Here. This is my symbol of office. Show them this, and you'll be given passage without question. So meet me at the docks. Give me, oh dear, this. Give me 3 hours. I'll see what I can do.
Everyone's safe and out of the city. If not, your head is in it too.
As I said, once you reach the docks, our deal is done.
I don't know how much to push it. That was not the deal. The deal was we were out of the city. Where can
Well,
they
you can
take you
take
from the
you can
docks?
take a boat, head down the Grey Flood, and you'll be out of the city. Simple as that.
Hold on, Anna, question.
Mhm.
I need you, Kalio, here. Because we're trying to go down the north-south road, right? To make it to Isengard.
Yeah, that's the most obvious route there. Yeah.
Okay. Where are the dogs in the map?
Oh, so if you look in the map, it'll be right under the bridge. The broken bridge is where the docks are to ferry people across.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do you have a deal?
If Turk is here.
I'm sorry.
If not. If Turk is here.
If Turkey, obviously, you, the elf lady, the other hobbits, will meet at the docks. You tell me where John Leaping is. Done deal.
But if any of us doesn't get out of here safe, I will contact them and I will let them know I don't care what it costs me. They're my family I am gonna sell you. Do you understand?
As, as long as you carry my seal, you have my word.
Your word's worth nothing. Turk should be here. 3 hours.
Make an insight check.
Oh, Jesus. Why?
Yes. All right, 3 hours then. And don't be late, because I won't. And he runs off in the direction towards Garth Toron.
Oh boy. Okay. Um.
So you know that your other friends have holed up with Amelia. If you want to
Yep.
meet with
Yep.
them.
Yep. Yeah. We know where that is. So I
Mhm.
think. Yeah. I think with Eucaliel we'll try to make our way there. Um. And I think we're gonna definitely try to hide, use at least Eucaliel's dirty clothes, and just stick to the shadows, stick to the back. Hopefully, it's early morning and they're all drunk and hiding and
Okay.
sleeping.
Go ahead and make either a performance or a stealth check to see if how well you guys blend in with the crowd.
Okay,
Um,
okay,
I'll let you do it with advantage, so you'll
okay,
get Callio's help there.
okay.
All right, dirty 20, very nice. All right, so you've managed to blend in with the crowd, the morning crowd, easily enough. Nobody seems to be paying you much attention. They seem to be doing their own thing, minding their own business, and you make your way to Amelia's place.
I will knock, making sure no one's there, and I'll knock at the door.
All right. Again, just like the others, when you approach her home sticks out like a sore thumb. It is the nicest house on the block, probably in all of Tharbad, more so even than the Red Palace. And as you knock, a servant girl answers the door. Yes, may I help you?
I don't remember if we had a catchphrase. I think my friends are staying inside. A dwarf and a tall man and two weird ladies. Did they come here?
Oh, and who may I ask is calling?
Uh, a hobbit friend?
Uh, I, um, I'm sorry, my lady will need a name,
Oh, my name's Goldie. Goldie
Goldie.
Goldie
And she looks
Glandower.
past you. And your friend, you give her name?
Friend Callie.
Callie. Okay. Goldie and Callie. One moment, please. And she closes the door for a moment. Um, two of you who are busy having a breakfast of your lives, you see the servant kind of run back and whisper something in Amelia's ear, and Amelia says, "Oh, it would seem your friends have arrived." And the servant goes back to the door and lets Goldie and Eucaliel in and escorts
Uh,
you to breakfast.
Goldie's probably in a panic attack and crying, and I will turn to them and just Turk, Turk, Turk. I don't know where Turk is. Um, uh, Tom maybe has him, maybe helps him, and we have to go to the docks in 3 hours. Hi, I'm sorry. My name's Goldie. How do you do?
um, like, okay. So Tom is going to get to look for Turk. Is that
That's what he said, but he's also the one that lost them. So I don't know.
how did he lose him?
I don't know. I don't trust him, so I don't believe anything he says. And
Weren't you
they were
guys
supposed to
staying
bring
in the
him
Red
back.
Palace?
Yes, and then he took him so they could free the person that they were freeing to make sure that that person was safe. And then when Turk was coming back, he was alone, and then he didn't get in. And I heard voices, and if he said that if you're caught after um, curfew, which I didn't know there was a curfew, and Yeah, he didn't make it back. The rules we have, it doesn't say there's a curfew. I've read it 4 times now.
Zurich will say, "Which one was Turk again?" And then he'll chuckle a little bit.
That one. That one. Yeah.
Anna says, "It is no loss. The hobbit got himself into trouble. We cannot wait for
Shut
him.
the
We."
fuck up. I am worried. You are an ass. Shut it.
That
You
catches
have
Zurich's
bacon?
attention.
And if there's bacon, Goldie will go for the bacon plate, and I'm just gonna look at Amelia and just like,
Shut the fuck up.
I'm
Hey,
sorry.
bacon!
No, I'm an anxious eater. Yeah. Okay.
Amelia, in the meantime, has just been kind of watching all this drama unfold at her kitchen table, and finally speaks up and says, "Your friend Turk, you believe he was taken to Garth Toron?"
That's what he said. And I'll show her. Do I trust her? They're safe and they're eating. Yes, I'll show her the coin. I'm like, Tom Brass gave me this. He said that in his word that we could get out of here because that was the deal we had. And he also said that he'll get him out of the prison or Garth Toran and bring him to the docks. But I don't really believe on him. So
She says, "May I see that token that he gave you?"
yes.
She takes it. She looks at it. I am terribly sorry, my dear. Uh, this is a worthless trinket. It
That's
means
what I thought.
nothing. If your friend truly is in Garth Toron, there is. Oh, I would not say it is impossible to get him out, but it would be very difficult. How
um,
badly do
so
you
good.
need? How badly do you want him back?
His family.
And you would be willing to risk your own life for him?
Yeah.
And she looks around the table. Zurich, Moonstalker.
Zurich nods, tugs on his beard, wipes the sausage grease off his face.
I look at you, Caliel. I mean, which she's saying.
Oh, she would probably agree wholeheartedly.
I'll
I know she's not
say,
here tonight, but
right, yeah. At that point, I'd say, um, with what documents I'm carrying, I cannot risk that.
and you hear Anna says, "Finally, someone speaking some sense. Leave your hobbit to rot in Gartoran. He is of no consequence."
I'm gonna ignore her and I'm gonna turn to Amelia and say, we might have something that he wants or that he says he wants. I don't trust him for anything, but he seemed. We may know the location of someone who he really wants, and every time that I mentioned that I would let the captain know about him, he freaked out. And I'm not good at reading people anymore, but he seemed genuine. Um,
Lieutenant Brass is a snake, put it mildly.
I
Whisper.
figured that.
You cannot believe a word he says or any promises that he makes. It would be foolish to do so. But that being said, if you do have something in the way of blackmail or that. He is a man that can be manipulated.
Okay.
So if what you say is correct, and there is this piece of information that could jeopardize him, then he will likely do whatever it takes to save his own neck. And if that means getting your friend out of Gartoron, he will probably make a genuine effort to do so. Now, the master of Gartoron is a vain man who sees his prisoners as something of citizens, um, more like slaves. But and he is very reticent to let any of them go unless he is to gain something from it. What did Lieutenant Brass demand for the release of your friend?
I'm gonna look at Turk. No, sorry, Zerk. My brain. Uh, is she good? Okay. They get just one beer tuck.
Yeah, one beer tug.
He wants information that we may have. I'm sorry, I don't know.
Out of character, he's asking about what you gave him to get the
Yeah,
cobbler out of jail.
I know.
Not which, no, not what you're going to give him. What you gave him. You gave him something physically already.
Yeah, she's not gonna believe that he only wanted elf trinkets. I gotta look around and be like, yeah, she's not gonna be sugar.
And let me guess, your friend Turk, he's a hobbit as well. You said he was family,
Yes.
and let me guess, he considers himself a burglar of sorts.
Ha!
No, he's a farmer, just like me.
Oh, he's a farmer. Okay, that okay, that makes more sense because I've yet to meet a hobbit who is a decent burglar. So,
Just gonna let it slide because I want her help. Look, we are no one. We're passing by. We have information. I just want to know if to save his own neck, Lieutenant Brass will do what he promised.
he would kill his own mother if it meant saving his own neck.
Is she still alive? Can we get to her?
I'm borderline thinking of giving you a shadow point
You,
right
I was just
that
picturing.
was that
I was
was
just.
coming. That was coming. Sorry, yes,
I,
it happened.
I was just picturing Luke sitting there with Ray, say, "You didn't even try to look away."
No. Yeah. Look, I think we just needed a couple hours. If he doesn't bring him, then I know what to do. If not, well, I have the confirmation I needed. And you told me what I already knew and I didn't want to listen to.
How is he planning
Wow.
on getting you out of the city?
That was my next question. What happens down the river or at the docks?
The docks are heavily monitored by the city guard. They impose taxes and tariffs for anyone entering or leaving the docks. Um, they will check your goods to ensure you are not attempting to smuggle anything in or out, and you'll be taxed accordingly for the goods that you carry. Um, if you attempt to leave the city, either by going downstream the Grey Flood or the more difficult route going upstream, there are guards posted along the banks that will stop you forcibly if necessary to ensure you are not leaving without paying the proper taxes.
I hate to ask this, but do you know another way out in case we need it?
She smiles. Now, what sort of burglar would I be if I did not have
Well, I didn't
at
know you
least
were a
one way?
burglar. I thought you were just a very nice lady that had
Oh,
very
I,
good
I
breakfast.
can be both.
I I agree.
Of course, as a favor to Orthel, I'd be more than happy to assist. Um, but I do. I do miss the days of burgling. And now here I am relegated to simply languishing in this horrible city. And my only currency now is information. So I will not ask you to divulge the nature of your trip or the valuables that you carry upon your persons as she looks at you, Moonstalker. But perhaps you can retrieve some information for me.
Jeez Louise. Retrieve information?
You see, your friend is in Garth Toron,
Hmm.
and I have perhaps a way in and out of Garth Toron that the guards are reticent or perhaps do not know about. However, as of late, that egress has been closed to me, and I was wondering if you would be perhaps willing to investigate why. And of course, this could be a backup only if your friend, Mr. Brass, does not return with your friend, in which case, there's no need for this. But you are asking for a way out of the city, and for that, I may know someone.
How about sharing your fee to Tom Brass?
I think. I don't know.
Hmm.
Here there, Zerk.
Yep.
I am, truth be
What
told, willing to do anything. So
what do you care what she does with that information once we're gone from town?
me, I don't.
Share it with her.
Yes, I'll make you this deal. If it is not relevant to your final destination or your final goal, then perhaps this is something you'd be willing to part with. The information is who is this individual that holds power over Lieutenant Brass? You tell me
What
that.
do you?
You share that with me, and I will share with you a contact that could get you out of town.
With Turk.
Assuming Turk is back. But I mean, if Lieutenant Brass is unable to, for whatever reason, to retrieve your friend, then I will give you the location of that secret entrance, and you can get him out yourself.
This information will put the captain in your back pocket. You make sure we get out of town with Turk.
And my contact is
Mm. I
very.
wouldn't say captain. I would say the lieutenant. How's it going to put the captain in her back pocket?
She doesn't know that.
Okay.
My contact is foolproof. She will not fail you. And that's a very valuable thing in this city, as you have gathered by now.
Yeah, I say we've had trusted one asshole. You don't seem like one. What do you know of a man named John Leaping?
Oh, interesting. That little scumbag, for lack of a better, nicer term, um, how how he has control or knowledge that would jeopardize Lieutenant Brass. Now that is interesting indeed. Would it be too forward of me to ask, or inappropriate for me to ask, what that information is that he has?
John Leaping or Tom Brass?
Oh, that John Leaping has that Tom Brass is so afraid of.
You know, I was wondering the same thing. Um, but I think we know what John Leaping is doing, and what Tom said is that there is a price on his head, on John Leaping's head. But I think that maybe John Leaping might be able to sell Tom Brass.
Let's see. Very, very interesting. Um, yes, for that piece of information, I will. You're looking for a hobbit, a young hobbit named Jen by the docks. Um, she's a little rough around the edges, but she's true to her word. Which is more than I can say for many hobbits in Tharbad.
I thank you for this.
Just
You,
do whatever Jen says, regardless of how ridiculous it might sound. She knows what she is doing. I have
I
relied on her to smuggle goods in and out of the city for many years. She knows what she's doing.
yeah, I am willing to sell two men. I'm gonna do whatever she says. Well,
Very good then. Well, you still have a couple of hours before you're expected at the docks. Eat up. You have a long journey ahead of you and a big day.
yes.
And please feel free to take some for your friend should he ever get released.
And since
Yeah.
Eucaliel's back, I'm going to walk over to her with my back between me and Amelia and hand her the documents back.
Okay, can you
Since
make a
they are
sleight of
not
hand
going,
check for me, please?
since we're not going on a mission. Yeah, I'm away from my desk at the moment, but sure, I'll be right back.
Zurich will knock his plate onto the floor as a distraction as that happens.
And Goldie has her bag open, and she's just like eating a piece of bacon, and a piece of bacon's going in. Potatoes unsafe, but bacon, pocket bacon's always good.
All right. I am going to, while you guys are enjoying this beautiful meal, I'm going to go back to Turk, who has spent a miserable night in this cell, trying to keep the rats from crawling all over him, um, and the flies from the shithole, literally like 5 feet away, from keeping him up all night. Okay, I'll get back to that sleight of hand.
That's fine.
And you can tell by peering at the cracks in the ceiling that it is day now. Dawn has broken. Uh, Small mercy, that night has passed, and that noble-looking individual approaches you now. He looks a little haggard. You interrupted his beauty sleep, but he comes to your jail cell, and he says, "Well, Mr. Tarek the Hobbit, it would seem that Lieutenant Brass is here, and he is inquiring about you. Now, why would that be?"
I have not lied to you. Lieutenant Brass is here to, I am sure, get me out of the prison so that I can go about the business that I was addressed to do.
Now, here's the thing. Lieutenant Brass never does anything without cause, and the only cause that he believes in is himself. So tell me very plainly now, and I will not ask this again, why would the Lieutenant of the Watch be so interested in a gong farmer? Who are you?
That's between you and Lieutenant Brass. The dynamics of Tharbad is none of my concern. I am sorry, this is well over a short hobbit's head.
So you still feign ignorance.
I would not say I am an ignorant hobbit. I certainly know my job, as do you, Master. But your dynamics and Lieutenant Brass, who, yes, by all means, we both agree that he's self-serving. But when you think about it, aren't we all?
You're very astute for a hobbit who shovels shit for a living. Now, I am inclined to keep you in the cell until I know your exact worth. And I, right now, do not know that. All I know is that there is Lieutenant of the Watch asking for your release. And frankly, I am inclined to say no until I know why he wants you. So until you are willing to cooperate, or I get some answers, he looks over at the shithole next to your cell.
You've got a job for me.
Precisely.
Well, Master, if I may, um, perhaps I'll be better able to answer the kinds of questions that you have if you can enlighten such a lowly hobbit as to the exact dynamics that are going on between Lieutenant Brass, the Red Palace, and you.
Can you make a persuasion check for me, please?
Uh, I'm really regretting taking that low.
Dump stat. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, it was part of the character, of course.
Mhm. Not bad. I'm just going to roll for him. All right. The political machinations of Tharbad are, as you say, far beyond the reach of a lowly gong farmer such as yourself. Why don't you just trouble yourself with the job at hand, as he once again waves at the shithole and says, perhaps after a year or so of labor, something might come to mind that might indicate what your worth might be.
Please, master, please, please. You are most persuasive. You are a very charismatic and powerful man, I can tell. I would think that a man in your position must have some friction with certain others of similar power within Tharbad, and perhaps some information that would give you an edge in your own desires, maybe of some help to you.
He kind of looks a little pensive and turns away from the cell. And with his back to you, he just kind of waves. Go on, I'm listening.
Now, I know you don't necessarily think I'm a trustworthy person, but please, you must understand that as a lowly hobbit in such a big and backstabbing city as Tharbad, I must watch out for myself and my others who depend on their livelihoods. So, if I were to say to you where you should go to perhaps find out what Lieutenant Brass is all about in his machinations, if I gave you a destination to set you or your guards to watching, would that be enough information to perhaps find your way to let me go? Or, into the hands of Lieutenant Brass officially, in an official capacity?
Tell me, Tarek the Hobbit, if I were to dispatch guards to investigate this destination, what would they find?
They would find somebody of most interest to Lieutenant Brass. Lieutenant Brass wants to get his hands on this person, shall we say, with extreme prejudice.
Interesting. And who is this person?
Well, this person is not well known to me, but my understanding is that he may be some kind of a double crossing agent of some sort.
Fascinating. Hmm.
That's all I can say. That's all I know. I'm just a lowly shit digging hobbit who happened to get himself caught between a rock and a hard place. So please, master, in your wisdom, in your most glorious wisdom, I can give you this information and you can do with it as you will. I don't take much space up. It's really no big deal that you pass me off so that you can get this information and perhaps get a leg or even more up on Lieutenant Brass.
Tell you what, Master Hobbit. Give me a persuasion roll with advantage, please.
Gotta drag it up. Oh my god! Oh my god! These dice are cursed. Shall I'm going to ask to I don't want to use another fellowship point.
Do you guys want to use one here or not?
Well,
How
how
many do we
critical?
have? How many? I'm sorry. Question first, so that everyone is clarity here. How many do we have?
You have 5 left.
Yeah.
So we had 6 originally when we stepped out
Yeah.
of Rivendell.
Yeah.
Okay.
How big of an ask was that? I
Oh,
don't
sorry,
think
you have
you're.
3, 4, 5. You have 7. Sorry, you have 6 left.
Does he get to re-roll with advantage or just a single re-roll?
A single roll, single d20.
If somebody else, I'll agree to it. If somebody else rolls for you,
This
Somebody else
roll will determine whether or not
he
Tarek
gets out.
gets out or
Yeah,
not.
I say as long as Tarek's not the one rolling, as long as we'll let.
Although the last
Gold-
time this happened, I got a natural 20.
Goldie can roll for him. I'm all for it.
But the last time this happened, I got a natural 20.
That means you
well,
burned your luck already.
We are very superstitious players, I can tell. or I could actually roll like a real dice.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, consensus. Burn a fellowship point.
Well, the stakes, though, right? I mean, this roll will get him to walk free.
Big
We don't have to
stakes.
save him.
Assuming Turk gives up the location.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, then there's no deal, and this roll would be for naught.
I was going to say the standing stones and let them fight it out. I'm not that's just I can't see that being a shadow point thing, but maybe I'm wrong.
I say yes.
It just I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I say yes. It's the only thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it'll save a lot of other rolls. With
Yeah.
one roll.
How do we acquire fellowship points? By doing good things or what?
No, only after you get through a fellowship phase, which is at the end of every arc.
And we're halfway through arc 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I say do it. But I just wanted to let you know, I already have a plan to do something, and I'm not using player knowledge when I do it. I'm gonna have a conversation with Amelia about the same exact thing, and tell her she probably doesn't have much time if she wants to get there first. I just wanted to let you know I'm not using player knowledge. I was already planning on doing that before this conversation happened. So that's why I got rid of the documents so that I could go off with her without the stalkers
Yeah.
following me.
All right. So it sounds like you have consensus to roll a d20.
Come on.
So the question is the random number generator bad on the client side, or is it the whole session?
Just close your eyes and roll.
I mean, if Goldie, you can roll it for me.
Nope.
No.
Nope. Nope. You gotta put this on me. What if I roll a one? No, I cannot do that.
If you want to roll a physical die, you can too. I don't mind.
This die hasn't been rolled. It's rusty. Here, I'll get my camera down.
If it's rusty, do a test roll before you roll it.
No, it might be a 20 though.
I know. What if you get the 20 in the
It
test
might
roll?
be a 1.
Oh, this is fun. Yeah, let's do this.
Okay, here it goes.
All right, let it raid.
13 minus 1 is a 12.
Oh, that was
Better
advantage.
than a 3.
Oh
no,
no,
not advantage. This is since you're burning a point. It's
Or better than a 2, I guess. Not a 3,
Yep.
actually. A 2.
better than a 2. All right, I'm just gonna roll here.
Oh God.
Oh, worthwhile spend
Okay.
again.
This is
Holy
tell you what.
I can breathe.
I think you're. I don't think you're a hobbit. I think you're a kinder.
Tell you what, Tarek the Hobbit. You tell me the exact location of where I might find this individual. And if that individual is there and is of value, I shall let you go. There's no need to involve Lieutenant Brass.
Is Lieutenant Brass not outside the prison door, or
I
in
can
the
simply
prison?
tell him to piss off.
Or perhaps you could take me out another way out of the prison that Lieutenant Brass may
No,
not see.
Did you just out of character? Did you hear what he actually said?
I think I talked over the DM.
No, no, you weren't talking at the time, but I don't think you were listening either. Maybe you need to have him say it again.
what, the fact that he'll let you go if you tell him where this individual is
After he verifies.
after he verifies. Yes,
Oh yes,
he has
no,
to
no, 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 no. I'm sorry, Master, but it's really a situation where I think you are most wise and would understand that it is important that I get out of the city because my personal safety is at risk, and
Well, I can guarantee
I
you.
certainly will give you the information of that. I will swear on my mother's grave.
You see, I do not
But
know you, Tarek the Hobbit, nor do I know your mother. So that promise means nothing to me. Let me verify for myself who this contact is and their worth. And if you are true to your word, I will be true to mine.
if if I am able to remember what this person's name is, and would that get me out the door without verification?
If I happen to know this individual and I can vouch or attest to their worth, then I would simply need to verify that the location is accurate.
Okay, you keep saying verify this, but nothing's going to. I'm sorry, but nothing is going. You can let me, Rod, and you can let me dig a hole deeper than a hobbit in that cesspool out the door, but you will not get that information unless I am able to step, unless I am stepping through the door of this
I, I
prison. You can understand that.
I think you fail to see the circumstances. It is you with the chain around your ankle and behind these cell doors, not me. You can rot in here for ever, for all I care.
Can I? Can I roll an insight check? This discussion of Lieutenant Brass and the master of the prison
Mhm.
seemed. I mean, at least as a player viewing this, there is a dynamic going on between the two of them that I have not, other than me listening as a player. I think rolling insight may give me a little bit of an edge, perhaps.
Sure, if you want, go ahead. So, all right, that's a good insight roll. So, just to be clear, just so I just want to make sure you understand what he's proposing. He, once you give him the location, he will send guards out to verify that that individual is actually there. And then if you do not provide the name, then he'll have to verify the value of that person. If the location and the value of that person are verified, then you're free to go. If you give him the name, all he needs to do is verify that the person is there. But he will not let you go until that verification is done, because otherwise, he's letting you go on your word. And frankly, that doesn't mean anything to him.
Then, Master, how should you have the name? And if this is a name that is known to you, is that not verification?
Not of the location.
Oh well, I can tell you where that location is, and I'm sure you know where that location is. So
Well,
that's verified.
but his actual presence at that location is not. And you'll tell with that insight check, the dynamic between him and Tom Brass is obviously competitive. Um,
Yeah.
it's a power struggle, right? It's all politics in this city. Uh, so, yeah, that's pretty obvious.
Wow. going to burn some bridges one way or the other. How long is it going to take you to do this verification? Let's
Well,
say,
depends on where the location is.
yeah, no, I understood that. I was just going to ask, what is the distance between the gate and the standing stones? A few miles?
Um,
Furlongs?
yeah, not even. It would probably take better part of to get someone there and back through all the checkpoints and whatnot. If they're on foot, probably about 3 to 4 hours. If they're on horseback, half that time.
And I would imagine a guard of the prison would not have difficulty making his way through checkpoints.
Yeah, that is correct.
So, Master, then this, I think you understand the gravity of this information. I'm sure that you would send your one of your most trusted on the speediest horse you have available to you.
Well, that again depends on who this person is. If you were to give me the name, perhaps I would see the urgency in the matter.
Out of out of game. Um, I understand John Leaping is of interest to Brass, and was caught by the village up the stream as being an agent. And by the sounds of what I understand, is a double agent. Um, okay, I want to get out of here. I think our business needs to be taken out of Tharbad. Would Master, would the name then John a Leaping be of interest to you?
He raises an eyebrow.
Ah, I don't even need to roll perception.
Now, what does that scoundrel have to do with Lieutenant Brass?
That is something that you will need to define yourself. That is not something, as I said, I am a lowly hobbit between a rock and a hard place.
Interesting. And where is he? This John Leaping.
If I'm going to wait for your verification, can I at least get out of this cell and away from this cesspool and have this chain taken off of my ankle, at least?
Make a persuasion check.
Hey, you were trying to get out without waiting for that.
Oh, not bad.
That's why you told him the name, wasn't it?
That's just a name. There's not a location. He can't do anything with that.
I
Fine.
understand.
I'll move you to a cell on the other side of the prison while we wait. But let me warn you, if any of what you're saying to me is false, I will personally escort you to the lower dungeons, and you'll never see the light of day again.
And I'll have to roll a new character.
Now tell me where this location is. And as he pulls a key out from his waist.
Well, take me to the other side of the prison.
I don't have time for this.
Ah, okay. Now, what you need to understand is if Lieutenant Brass is here to get me out of the prison, he's looking for the same information. You need to get there and get the hell back because Lieutenant Brass is going to be going there. So, what are you going to do? What is your plan to address this situation? Because if he sends a whole squad up there and you send some lowly nose picking guard from the lower levels just to get some fresh air, that's not going to go over very well. I think you need to plan this out very carefully because not only is your rise in power at risk, but my life as well. And the reason why I bring this up to you.
You make another persuasion check.
Oh boy. Got to work on that charisma. If this was Skyrim, it would be rising.
All right. He says, Fret not, Tarek the Hobbit. I will send my fastest riders to verify your claim. And believe me, Lieutenant Brass and his drunken watch will not be a problem. Now tell me the location, and we will see to your new accommodations forthwith.
The standing stones on the hill to the north.
Oh, the Watching Stones, just north of the city.
Beware, Lieutenant Brass will be going there.
Very well. He tucks the key back into his belt and calls for one of the guards up. Move this prisoner to the north end, and dispatch 2 riders, fastest mounts, to the Watching Stones. You will just find a man there. Bring him back here to me. Do not identify him at the gates. And the guards salute him and ride off. And you are moved to a nicer cell. The only difference here is you're not next to a shithole, but it's still awful.
Oh, I think part of the deal was also no chain around my ankle. If you remember.
Uh,
If you
yes.
remember.
Yes. Um, that, yeah, he would have a problem with that. But he'll keep his word, and he will let you free in the cell.
Okay. And just for future reference, I will be looking around and whether there are any gaps in the stonework and loose bars later when
Okay.
I'm.
Okay. So back to the Amelia's house, and with that, what did you roll there? Sleight of hand 9. Okay. So she.
I don't care if she knew I did it. I was just trying to, cover what it is. Obviously I handed something off. I mean, that's
Okay.
not a problem. I don't care about that.
She doesn't seem to flinch or say anything, at least. So
Eh,
then you all head to the docks then and wait for your friend to arrive, and you'll rendezvous with Jen, and she'll get you out of the city.
and just so I'm not using player knowledge, do we know that there's a reward out for John, or did
Yes.
that information not get imparted to us?
Uh, didn't what's his face?
Yeah.
Oh, they might not know. We know.
Yeah, you know, but you might not have
Yeah,
imparted that.
yeah.
Okay.
I would I would share that when I. Oh, I did say that Captain or Lieutenant Brass said there was a prize on his head.
Yes, they did. You did say that.
Yeah, so you do know that.
Okay. I will, after I hand the documents to Caliel, I will move towards the hallway and say a word, Lady Amelia.
Of course. And she escorts you to a small parlor offside, and she closes the door behind her, and you have a private conversation with her.
And I will tell her, say, the information that my companion spoke to you about, I would say is of something of a very limited time resource for you about John Leaping. He's located at the standing stones. If you wish to intervene for your own purposes on that, I would say you need to act quickly. We know that they were telling Lieutenant Brass about that when they parted ways. So she has not, they did not say whether they had already told him or not, but I'm going to assume that they had, which is why he let them leave his side.
I see. Um, hmm. How interesting. I deal in information, Mr. Moonstalker. I do not deal in kidnapping or trafficking of people. So if there are other parties interested in that, then I will not stand in their way. I will not compete with them for such things, but I would be interested in who the parties are.
Yes.
Uh,
Well, I've given you the information. I know that, you know, John Leaping and this lieutenant are supposed to be friends. So, and
Thank
now
you.
there's apparently a reward
I
for him. And I know that they were going to trade John Leaping's location for the freedom of another person. So, with them being here, that means all of that, in my mind, has been accomplished, even though I have not spoken with them directly about all of this. So, I'm assuming that Tom Brass is who they made the deal with, and he is already enacted upon the fact that John Leaping's at the Standing Stones.
so you believe that Mr. Brass is not going to honor his word and free Turk, and in fact is on his way to collect John O'Leaping.
I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't have any dealings with Tom Brass to know. So, um, I would assume that they did something to guarantee that he would honor his word. In my mind,
Mhm.
that's would be my best guess. And I would say necessarily that not necessarily that he was going out there. He might have sent men out there to retrieve John Leaping.
Mm. Yeah, very interesting. So much at work. So I must thank you, Mr. Moonstalker, for your candor. Um,
Well, I feel that it is due to you due to your relationship with my master.
it smells that. Yes, Ortha and I go, well, very far back. Uh, I do hope she's well, by the way. It's been quite some time since I've actually seen her.
She was well when I left her, but she is traveling into dangerous events.
You can see her frown a little about that.
I was
And I imagine you are not going to be meeting up with her at any time soon.
No, I've now been tasked with making sure these documents make it to Orthanc and to protect the elf that's in the kitchen. Apparently, the two strangers with us were going to kill her over some disagreement.
Hmm. I feel the less I know about those documents, the better. And the quicker you depart my home with those documents, the safer I will be.
Yes,
So, although I do welcome the company and I do hope your stay here has been pleasant, I do hope you understand the need for you to move on, you and your friends to move on as quickly as possible.
yes, Yes, my lady. That is why I wanted to speak with you alone to clear all this up before we leave and to give you the information that I could give you to try to help your cause.
Thank you. I do greatly appreciate that. And if you do rendezvous with your master at some point in the future, please do give her my regards from me. And she removes a piece of silk uh, from her arm, like almost like a little handkerchief, almost, and it's perfumed. And she hands it to you and says, "Oh, it'd be in your debt if you were to give this to her."
Very well. I will do so. As long as there are things you do not keep me from doing that, I will be more than happy to, and I'll tuck it into my van braces in my arm guard.
Okay.
And that
Uh,
I'll bow my head and turn to walk out.
okay. Uh, you two rejoin the feast at breakfast, and Amelia says, "Well, it has been a pleasure to become acquainted with all of you, and I do truly hope that you are able to recover your friend. And again, if that is not the case, and Lieutenant Brass does not honor his word, um, please uh, let me know, and I can help you get in another way, perhaps, to save your friend."
Thank you so much. Really appreciate your
Thank you, my
hospitality
lady.
and your help.
And with so many eyes on the streets, especially now with everything going on with John Leaping and your presence here in the city, I suggest you make haste to leave as quickly as you can.
Yes. With that, we will gather our belongings. We will leave your dwelling and wish you a very well day.
All right. So, you guys, is there anything else you'd like to do at Amelia's home before you leave?
Before we leave, can I open a map? Or I'm gonna ask either Moonstalker or Amelia. What is like that's not the stones? Is there any other place that's recognizable from here that's either important or something? And if Tom Brass comes with Turk, he lied to us, so I don't know if I want to give him all the information. And I would just like to send them away from us so we can get away. He doesn't know where. Well, I didn't give him everything. I'm
Oh, I see what you're
a little
asking.
dumb. Not that dumb.
Swanfleet.
Swanfleet.
Swanfleet is a perfect place to hide if you do not wish to be found.
Thank you. And again, thank you for everything. And my bag's a little heavy because I filled it up with food.
Of course.
Awesome.
All right.
Lots of nuts.
All right. So you guys all gather your things. Eucaliel is now carrying the documents. The two sisters are watching her like a hawk. And you make your way to the docks. The docks beneath the broken bridge are ramshackle. Half of them are rotted out. A lot of them are just really just pieces of wood floating around. There's a fair amount of activity along these docks, however, with both guards and ferrymen um, gathered here as boats kind of shuttle across the Grey Flood from here to the center island. Um, can all of you who are there make a perception check? as you're looking for Jan.
Zurich is exorbitantly preoccupied. He's just gazing into the water, looking for a flickering of metallic sparkle to catch his eye.
Okay. All right. Moonstalker. Where is she here? You see, kind of wandering amongst the docks, this little individual. Looks like a child, really. Maybe 2 feet tall, like pushing it. But she's got attitude. She's telling all the other ferrymen to get out of her way, watch where they're going. And she doesn't take any guff from anyone. Um, and she's got her own little raft going.
Okay.
Uh,
So is she on the raft in the water, or is she on the around the dock?
no, she's walking up and down the docks.
Okay.
She's trying to find people to ferry across. She's like, they're all these ferry people are like barking out, saying, "Hey, free, like, quickest ride across the Great Flood," that kind of stuff.
I'll tap Eucaliel and motion that way and walk that way. I'm gonna act like she was here, so
Okay,
head that direction.
all right, you guys head in that direction. She sees your group approaching and says, "Oi there! You looking for a way across the Great Flood?"
And I will bend down on one knee and then lower myself even farther and say, uh, yes, but not quite at the moment. Um, a friend of mine told me to come looking for you for alternative passage outside of town.
And so I'll stop you right there. And she kind of looks around when you say this because you still see kind of guards around. Come this way. Talk business
Follow her.
this way.
Get up and follow her.
All right. She looks up, and all of you are following. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of you following her. And she knows that all 6 of you following her and says, "What the hell is this? Like, guys are screaming out for the guys. No, just one of you. Just one of you."
I'll put my hand up. Like to stop, and I'll say, no, not a problem. Just
All
wait
right.
here. I'll be right back.
All right. So she takes you a little distance away. Says, "Are they all with you?"
Yes, they are. We have one more as well.
And she's like, "And one more.
Another hobbit.
This is gonna cost you."
And what would that cost me?
She looks at your group and says, "How far down the river are you looking to get?"
Far enough that we can exit without the guards bothering us?
7 of you. That's gonna be a tough one. I might have to do it in several trips. My raft ain't big enough to carry all y'all at once, especially the legs of you giants. And she looks at you like you're literally towering over her. um,
Yeah, she don't even come up to my knee.
multiple trips. Take me all night. 2 gold ahead.
Is there anything besides gold that you would be willing to trade for?
What else is there?
Well,
You got some fancy jewels that I don't know about in those big pockets of
no.
yours?
No, but I am a ranger in the north, and I'm sure there's some favors I could do for you in the future to make this worth your while.
Favors. Now, what kind of favors do I want of a ranger on a river?
Well, I'm sure there's things you might like from the north that you can't easily get that I could get for you.
What kind of things are we talking about here?
I don't know. What do you need?
Gold. I need gold. Girls got to eat, you know.
There's nothing else besides gold that interests you, huh?
Unless you got something else to offer. I mean, I ain't doing this out of goodness, kindness of my heart. My heart's not that big.
Oh, I understand. But there's no favor that you would take and trade, huh?
Mm. She looks at you and looks past you at your group. You're an odd bunch of people. I reckon you're running for something.
No, we're on a journey south. We just happened to come together because we were all heading south for different reasons.
She looks at you. Make a deception check for me, please. All right. He's all right, all right, all right. Okay. None of my business anyway. I just take you where you want to go, but I mean, I got favor. How good are you lot at swimming now? Can you swim?
I don't know, can I?
You can swim, but you're not like proficient at it. Like you don't have swim speed, for example. So
Sure. And I say, I know how to swim. I mean, I do travel the north, so I have to swim across rivers occasionally, right?
so he points at Goldie. Now she's clearly not a hobbit from these parts. Probably from that Shire place up north. Now she wouldn't have me one of those river hobbits, now would she?
No, I don't think so. I think she's a farmer hobbit.
Ah, it's a shame. It's a shame and shame, and
And I
dwarf will sink
think,
like a stone.
yeah.
What are all those two lanky women? The shady looking women there. Can they swim?
I saw Oro swimming, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. I can work with that. And the one with the hood over her head.
I do not know if she can swim.
Okay. Well, tell you what. If you can retrieve something from me at the bottom of the grave flood, I'll give you a bit of a discount.
And where would this item be that we need to recover?
Not too far from here. It's on the way.
And how much of a discount are we talking?
Mm, I'll knock it down to a gold each.
All right. I will have to check with my comrades and see if we can come up with enough coin for that. And I
All right.
will do my best to attempt to retrieve that you wish from the bottom of the river. I
You
will
do that.
do
I
that.
don't got all day.
Absolutely.
Make your decision. I got business to run here.
Okay. And I will head back over to the group
Hmm.
and say, it's going to cost us, and there's 7 of us all together, correct? If
Yeah.
the shit boy comes back. So, sorry. Drawing a blank on your name at the moment. So, shit boy worked. Eric. So, I'll say, I made a bargain to get us out of town. This will keep us from having to pay any fees and taxes and tariffs, and get us out at dark. But it's still going to cost 7 gold for us to get out of town, which is going to be less than it's going to be if we have to pay taxes and tariffs. How much money do you guys have?
About nothing.
Yeah, not that much.
Well, we're going to have to pull it all together, so I'm sure to accomplish this. I said, I got 2 silver.
Anna and Orla
Yeah,
shaking their
ladies.
heads. Yes.
Zarek looks at the ladies and says, "What do you think?"
We shall cover the expenses, but can she be trusted?
Yes, she can be
Let's not
trusted.
throw the word trust around. Goldie's been looking around for Lieutenant Tom Brass. I don't know what time it is, but
You still have maybe about an hour before he said he would arrive there.
okay. Okay. We're still looking.
Okay.
And I'll look back over at Jen. Put my thumb up.
All right. She says, um, she walks, she waves you over, first of all.
Okay, I'll walk back over. Stay here, guys. I'll walk back over.
He says, with 7 of you, I can't take you all at once, like I said. Best I can do is I can take you, the giant, and she looks
How
past
about the lady with the hood?
lady with the hood and the hobbit and the dwarf. First trip.
How about the lady with the hood and one of the 2 women?
Okay. I can do that. Which one of them is going to fetch the thing in the water for me?
Me.
You. Okay. Very good. Then I tell you what. You come along on the first trip. You fetch what I'm looking for,
Mm-hmm.
and we have a deal.
Okay.
So it'll be you, the hooded lady, and one of the women, and the hobbit. First trip.
Yep.
Okay, very well. Um,
And then you could get the rest of them on the next trip, correct? 2 hobbits, the dwarf, and 1 lady.
yes.
Okay. That's what we'll do then.
All right.
And where do you want? Where do we need to go to wait until then?
Oh, well, we depart here. Everything has to leave through here, but don't worry about it. I'll take care of everything.
So where do you want us to go in the meantime? I mean, they're not just going to let us stand around on the docks after dark, right?
Oh, there is a place just under the walls of Garth Torren where I hide my raft. Meet me
Okay.
there.
All right. We will do so. And what time do you want us to meet you?
As soon, just before sunsets.
Very well.
All right.
Torn. Where's the prison?
All right. So an hour or so passes. Is there anything you guys want to do while you're waiting for Lieutenant Brass to show up?
Zarek's just gonna keep looking for the ring in the water.
Okay.
The ring will find him. He keeps muttering to himself, "The ring will find me. The ring will
Okay.
find
I'm
me."
not even gonna let you bother rolling because you're not gonna find it. You're in the docks.
There'd been 50 people jumping in the river before you to grab that thing.
What is Jen doing?
Jen, once she's made the deal, she says she has to prepare. for you guys, and she's going to start pulling her raft upstream.
Okay. So I was gonna chat with her, but if she's
And
leaving,
Oh no, if you want to do that, I mean, you have an opportunity before she leaves. If you want.
as she's like getting ready and everything, I'm just gonna try to go and just like, hi, it's nice to see another hobbit.
She looks at you, kind of looks past you at Moonstalker and says, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. See you tonight."
Oh, well, I wanted to ask if you had any dealings with the Shire and if you could deliver a letter, but if you don't go up there, it's fine.
Child, why would I want to go up there? There's no money up there. The gold is here.
Yeah, but we have things up there that are worth money, like pipe weed.
She looks at you in your colorful dress and says,
I'm covered. I
"You
covered
covered?
again. Sorry.
You covered?
Yes.
Okay, okay, you're covered."
Yeah.
This, I got no
Probably
need for that fancy Shire shit. I got everything I need right here.
Okay. Well, if you wanted some, I have some to share, but it's okay. And I'll make my way, walk back slowly.
Okay. You can see her
The
kind of muttering
first.
under her breath, like fucking Shire folk always think they're better than us.
No,
Um,
I just wanted to share. Just wanted to be friends.
and she pulls away. So anything else you guys want to do in an hour aside from Zurich wandering up and down the docks looking for something shiny in the water?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna kind of meld back into the shadows a little bit, just to keep an eye on the group, make
Do
sure
you
nobody's doing anything, like
you
trying to
tell
pick pockets. I'm sorry.
do you tell the group what the
Oh
division
yeah,
of
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
the
yeah.
sisters are not buying it. They say they
Oh,
go
you mean
together with Natalia.
about the ring or going in the water? I don't tell
No,
them that.
no. Okay,
Okay.
not about that, but I mean the
Yeah.
division of people.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll
They
tell about
they
that. I'll tell about that. I said, look, the raft's not big enough for all of us. I said, I got you on. What's her name? Not Orla, the other one.
Anna.
Anna. I got you, me, and the elf on the first raft. Everybody else will come on the second trip. I thought that would
And
please you.
it's unacceptable. We are
What do you
both
mean it's
with
unacceptable?
unacceptable. We are both with the documents. It'll be
Then
two
you'll
of
wait.
us.
Then you'll wait.
Then we will wait with the
You're not going to be
documents.
on the first raft. Fine.
Then we will wait with the documents.
It'll be me, the dwarf, and the two hobbits then.
Do we really want to leave the assassins alone with the elf?
The documents
Uh,
go first.
no, the documents do not. I said I made arrangements. In order to make the passage cheaper, I made a deal that I have to do something for her on the first passage. So either you, me, and the documents go the first passage, or you wait.
Orla says, "Is this another one of your side deals? What is it, you and
She wants me to
your
retrieve something out of the river for her that she cannot get to at the bottom of the river.
and what is this thing
I
at the
don't know.
bottom
I
of
don't care. It has no bearing on anything. It got us.
Exactly.
Okay, she wants 14 gold.
The sisters kind of look at each other and say,
It makes more sense for me to swim to the bottom of the river for her and retrieve her item when we don't have the gold to pay the extra gold.
fine, fine, fine. So it will be you, the elf, and the two of us on the first draft.
Can't. Too much weight. It can
And it
only
will
be
be
3 of
you.
us.
And it will be you. You shall carry the documents. And the two of us.
No, because I'm not leaving the documents with you when I go in the river. You have you have that you. I've laid it out for you. You have the choice: you, me, and the elf, or you wait. Those are your options.
Can you make a persuasion check for me, please?
Can I
Is
help
Zurich
him?
is Zurich
Oh, the,
overhearing this?
yeah,
Oh,
this is
I'm
you guys
saying
are
this
having.
out loud. I'm not
Zurich
being quiet about it at
Zurich
all.
is going to tug on his beard and say, "If you're in the river, how is the elf going to fare on the raft with the two ladies?
The two ladies aren't going to be on the raft. It's only going to be one.
If you're in the river, how is the elf going to fare on the raft with one of the ladies?"
We don't have much of a better option here. What do you want me to tell you, Zerk?
Let's try not to get the elf killed.
I'm doing my best. Unless you got some gold hidden in that beard I don't know about to help us out here to pay for this.
Oh, fighting words to a dwarf.
It's fine. Anna says, "You, me, and the elf.
All right.
First draft."
And the second raft will be your sister, the dwarf, and the hobbits.
Yes.
And I tell them we're going to meet under the prison on the dock side. Yeah, right before sunset. So
Okay.
everybody knows what's going on. Then I'm going to melt into the shadows just to keep an overwatch on the party, basically.
Okay.
And make
Zurich will
sure, and I'm checking around, make sure nobody's watching us and stuff like that as well.
Zurich will say to you, Kaliel, "Give me the documents. I'll go on the raft. The first draft."
Okay. Yukali will probably agree with that, I think. So yeah, so it'll be the dwarf, the ranger, and Anna. All right.
That's fine. I didn't even really consider that like an option. So good for you thinking of that.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna switch back to uh, Turk one
Prison
moment.
boy.
Um, as you're waiting in your luxury cell um, to hear back, um, you hear. Actually, go ahead and make a perception check.
Do I get a higher standard of gruel?
You have not been fed yet.
Oh, okay. Looking forward to that bacon then, Goldie. Perception, you say, correct?
Yeah. All right. You hear the distant sound of hoofbeats in the courtyard outside the tower. Roughly a couple of hours after you had that conversation. Um,
Oh, while I was waiting for those times, did I see any potential
okay. Yeah.
um,
Please roll investigation.
nefarious egress if I if I
Yeah.
needed it? So investigation, correct?
Yeah.
Ah, that's not too bad.
All right. So you look carefully through the mortar work, the stones, the bars. Um, and even though the walls themselves are crumbling and are in great state of disrepair, um, I mean, given enough time and perhaps a utensil, you could probably chip away at the mortar, loosen the stones, and find a way out that way.
Like a
But it would take
spoon?
some effort. Yeah, like a spoon. But it's not going to be an immediate egress. It would take time to
Okay.
escape.
Not yet.
Um,
Not even a loose bar that a hobbit might be able to squeeze between.
no, um, Garthorn has garnered a reputation for its brutal efficiency in terms of keeping its wards inside. But you do hear those hoofbeats, and soon after you see a familiar figure, hood over his head, being dragged in to the prison, uh, and dumped in the middle of the thing. And you just hear like, um, you see other prisoners kind of move as far as they can towards the bars to look at what's happening. And you see the jailer, the master of Garth Torin, kind of following him. Grab the hood, unhood this individual, and it is in fact John a leaping. And you see John leaping has a gag on. He's trying to speak. He's in rough shape. You guys have left him up there for a couple days now, and it looks like he hasn't eaten or drank. He's yeah, he's not doing so well.
I think it's probably not even 24 hours.
Is it? Oh yeah, the Ortho was with him. Yeah, she
Yeah.
didn't treat him well at all.
Okay. Fair enough.
I at least gave him some water though. He has no boots.
But he's there now, um, and you can see the master kind of just walking around him. Kind of got this very sinister, creepy look on his face, a smile. Just, well, what do we have here? John Alepin. So, I understand there's a price on your head, and he starts poking John Alepin quite roughly in the top of his head. There's something in there, and I'm going to have it before the day is done. And he takes the gag off of John Leaping's mouth, and you can John Leaping just immediately starts begging for his life and mercy. And, oh no, nothing. Leave me. I'll tell you anything. Please spare me. Uh, just anything but the lower dungeons. Anything but the dungeons. And the master of Golan, Garth Toran, just smiles at him and says, "Well, we'll see about that, and we'll see what information you might have." And he, for a brief moment, looks up towards you, Turk.
The master does.
The master does, and John Leaping follows his gaze and sees you in the cell.
You got to give me some time here. I might have been able to duck back.
Okay, go ahead and make a stealth check.
Of course, I'm going to waste a natural 20 on this, but or
Dirty
20.
20.
Dirty 20. All right. So you manage to slink back into the shadows before he catches a sight of you. And I just, oh, I don't. It, if it's the Rangers you want, I can give them. I know where they are. I know where they're going. I know, and they're traveling with hobbitses and a dwarf, and there's even an elf with them. And the masters. Now, isn't that interesting? It seems as though you and I have much to discuss. And he instructs him to be taken away out of sight, and they're taking him downstairs below ground. And the master comes back to you, to your cell, Turk. And you're hidden in the back someplace in the shadows. And says, I know you're in there someplace. Come. And he pulls a key out and unlocks the door.
Thank you, Master. I'm glad to see that you have verified what you were looking for. Again,
Yes.
this is not your particular dynamics within Tharbad. That's a fancy word, I know, but I'm not an uneducated hobbit. Is none of my concern. I'm literally passing through. You will never see me again.
am a man of my word. You have delivered to me a valuable resource, and in return, I am letting you go as I have promised. Should you return to Tharbad, all bets are off. Do I make myself clear?
Most, most clear.
Very well then. Return this Master Tarek's weapons to him and show him to the gate.
Just one very simple question. Is there perhaps another way that I could exit this facility in case there are prying eyes, such as Lieutenant Brass and or his men? That would not be to your advantage, I don't need to point out to a man of your wisdom.
No, there is no other way out. And what happens beyond the gates of my prison do not concern me. We had an arrangement, we had a deal. I have kept my end. Our deal is done. You're free to go.
Do you perhaps have some raggedy clothes then that you may be able to lend me that I could perhaps use?
He looks at you and what you're wearing now and says, I don't think I can get more raggedy than that. I have an interrogation to get to now, please.
Fair enough. Do you, yes, may I speak perhaps just to one of the guards? Do you have um, wagon loads of goods coming and going through the prison that I may be able to perhaps jump in the back of a wagon to get out?
No, you are free to walk through the front doors. Have a good day, Tarek the Hobbit.
And same to you. Master, would you share perhaps your name?
Ah, yes, it's Master Valendur to you.
Valendor.
Valendur. It is a noble name from the Numenarians themselves. Now, if you'll have to excuse me, I have business to attend to, and may our paths never cross again, for your sake. And he marches off to follow where they had taken John Leaping.
I was just going to say I was going to give my most um, interesting hobbit bow for what it's worth.
All right. He, a smile kind of crosses his face when he sees that. Hobbits never cease to amuse me. As he walks away. And guards, they don't frog march you this time, but they're kind of flanking you, one on each side, that are escorting you out the main gates of Garth Toron.
Okay, so I guess there is a holding room of some sort that I can get my belongings back. As they
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
as they bring me to the gate, I can only imagine what it might look like. There's a multiple walls, multiple gates, I would guess. Um, is there any chance that I might be able to roll perception to see if somebody is out there watching the gates that I might?
Sure. Have you ever been to what is that? I think it's the Tower of London in London
I
where they
have.
have
I
it's
have been,
very similar to that setup where you kind of walk through like a gate, pretty
and
much
there's,
like a
and there's the bridge over the
there's a
moat.
bridge. Exactly, that's exactly what this is.
Yeah,
And then there's another entrance on the other side.
and all the tourists.
Exactly. All the tourists. You had a wave of tourists coming at you. Um, no, this place almost looks identical to London Tower.
Ah, so I mean, I know I did ask the master, but are there wagons coming and going? Because they do have to bring in some kind sort of food, and
No,
things must
they're not.
come and go.
There are not. The wagons would be stopped outside of the prison, and anything would be carted in and out from there.
Okay, is that happening right now?
Let's roll it. What would be considered a luck check? Roll a d6. On a 1 or a 2, there will be wagons outside.
Okay, so I click on 1d6, and there we go. No.
Missed it.
No, nothing out there. But I will let you roll a perception check as you kind of stand within the shadows of the outer gates of Garthoron.
No.
No, you don't see
Okay.
any sign of anyone.
Well, I've got my raggedy clothes on, and I'll try to do my best to sneak out of here.
Yeah, make a stealth or a performance check to see if you can blend in with the crowds as you
I
leave.
think everyone knows what my best role is.
Hmm. Hmm.
Oh, that's not bad.
Okay. And so you are now standing outside of Garthoron on the streets. Where would you like to go?
I know because I had asked, if not last session, then the session before. I was asking about other hobbits doing gong farmer work or night work, and I was told that they would be down by the river, if you remember. Um, I don't know. I don't. Did I? At that point, I don't remember. Did I ask if I might know who was working that angle within the
Yeah,
city?
you don't. I think you rolled for that and you did not.
Okay,
But
fair enough. Um,
you do know that you were being kicked out of the Red Palace that morning and that you were to rendezvous with your friends at Amelia's house. That's the last thing that's the last place you would know where your friends would have been.
yes, so I do know where that is, so I'll go there then.
Okay. I need
Just
you to
sort of circuitous,
roll.
not the most obvious way, but
I need you to roll another d6. And you before you do so, tell me which you would prefer to be a positive result, odds or evens.
oh my goodness, 50-50. I'm going to go with positive being even.
All right.
It's kind of a heads or tails thing.
Yep.
So positive is evens.
Yes.
God damn. Ah.
All right. So sorry, where were you planning on going?
To the contact's house.
To
Um,
Amelia's house. Okay.
yes, Amelia Kern, in fact.
All right. You see, as you're weaving your way through the crowds, trying to blend in, um, you've had a rough night in the prison, so the smell of the shithole next to you kind of seeped into your clothing. So people are kind of giving you a little bit of a berth. Um, but you see a young woman kind of standing in the crowd. Kind of, you can tell she was kind of watching the entrance of the prison. And she saw you come out, and she's trying to approach you. But before she gets to you, you see Lieutenant Brass step in front of you.
In front of me, not her.
In front of you.
And he just came out of nowhere.
Yep. It says, "Ah, so you were let go in the end after all. And I wonder why that would be."
Where am I exactly?
You're standing pretty much within 30 feet of the entrance to Garth Tauron.
And there's a moat that I could quite literally jump into if I needed to.
No, you're outside. There. Actually, I wonder if I can show you this picture. Do I have it here? 1 second. Do I have Garth Tauron here? No, I don't. Um, maybe I have it here. Give me 1 second. there is a map of Garthorn that once you see it, you'll be able to.
I knew there would be a tactical map at some point.
Garthorn. Do I have it here? I don't think.
Yeah, I see it.
It's. You see it?
I can see the Fortress of Garth-Toran map. Yes. Am I not supposed to be able to see?
Oh, there we go. It's just go switch. Yeah, switch to tactical mode, and you can see.
Yep.
Yeah. So the moat, and there is an outer wall, right? And you're beyond the outer wall, so the moat, you have no access to the moat anymore.
Okay, so had I wanted to jump into the moat, I should have said that I was going to jump into the moat before I got it through the gate. I was actually thinking that.
And you would technically still be within Garth-Toran then, but just between the inner and outer walls.
Yes. Oh yeah. Okay, so I saw that there was a woman watching me before Lieutenant Brass jumped in front of me.
Yeah.
Is there anything that I would perceive about her? Hobbit, human?
Make a perception or insight check.
Not really.
All right. It's a young human woman, probably late teens, even if maybe early 20s, if that. Kind of wearing simple, like a servant's clothing with an overcoat on. She was about to approach you, but as soon as Lieutenant Brass stepped in between you and her, she backed off and kind of tried to retreat back into the crowd.
Is Lieutenant Brass surrounded by a squad of individuals? I probably shouldn't
No, he's
ask.
by himself.
By himself.
And he reaches down to grab your arm. Do you allow him to, or are you trying to break from his grasp?
No, contested.
All right, go ahead and make an athletics check.
So, athletics being strength.
Athletics or acrobatics, actually, since you're the one defending, you have a choice.
Yeah, thank you. Glad I. Oh my God.
You have to beat a dirty 20.
Yeah, I saw that. Shit.
All right, so he manages to grab your arm, and he's got your arm like in a vice grip. Says, "Come with me, you little shit." And he starts walking you down the street.
So it won't help if I start yelling out, "Stranger danger!"
Stranger danger. Do you want to?
No, I think everybody else knows who Lieutenant Brass is.
All right. He takes you into an alley. And you are there now by yourself with him. He's got you kind of like pinned to the wall with a hand kind of forcibly pushing you against it. And he has his hand on the hilt of his sword. Now tell me, you little piece of shit, what did you tell him to win your freedom?
I told him that you work with the Rangers. That
Told
you're
him-
that
told
you're
him what? He seems flabbergasted.
exactly.
Can you make a deception check, Murray, please? Now I'll let you do it with advantage. All right, and I'm going to roll his insight.
Oh, he failed.
All right, so he's looking at you and he's like, "You told him? Why would you tell him that?"
To get out. What do you think?
You, f- you just put a price on my head by
Not if you
saying
act, not if you know what to do, not if you can figure it out. You failed. You failed at getting me out. You didn't have my back.
you ran off someplace. I had no idea. I did my.
You slimy did the slimiest thing you could possibly do. And you thought you were just getting your best out of this. Well, guess what? You got to learn that karma sucks. Karma, whatever version is in Eriador. Fate sucks.
You can see him thinking, "Oh, okay,
You tried to turn a bad situation towards your benefit, and guess what?
I can fix this.
Okay,
Fix this.
I hope you can.
You're going to tell him the truth. That's what you're going to do. It'll be your head on a pike, not mine.
So tell me then, if you're not working for the Rangers, then who are you working for?
I'm working for myself, you little shit, just like everyone else in this stinking cesspool of a town.
And why are you having this power struggle with a master? What the hell was his name again? It doesn't matter.
Valandur.
Valdur, Master Valdur.
That little fucker, pompous asshole, thinks he's rules. You're going to fix this. You're going to fix this.
You do realize he's just a big fish in a little pond. That you have all the cards. He doesn't have anything.
I saw his men bring John a leaping into the prison. Thanks to you, I imagine.
It wasn't him. He had a bag over his head. That was just another guy.
Can you make
Nope.
another deception check?
Well, hopefully I've got him off. I'm getting him off balance here, but come on. Oh, damn it. Okay, it was him. Oh, okay, sorry. No, okay, I got it.
Oh my gosh.
This guy's thick as a ring brick. All right.
He's really upset.
All right. So he's. All right. So I tell you what, you little shit. You tell me where John Leaping is right now, and I'll think about letting you live. But you gotta tell me right now.
When we came to town, John a Leaping was tied up and at the Standing Stones to the north of the city.
I've half a mind to drag you there with me.
But you won't, because
You
the Master Verlinden
Valandur.
I'm sorry. I gotta write that down. Valandur is going to be following me. You know that. And he's going to see you.
Can you make a persuasion check with advantage, please? You've already got him convinced that he's. You're doing a very good job at gaslighting him right now.
God damn it.
All right, and I'll just make another check for him. He's rolling like poop.
Oh my gosh! Unbelievable.
Oh my god, that's right. I need new dice. You're so lucky. He says, "All right, you run off to your little friends."
I crashed out. What did he get?
Oh, I rolled a 2 to Turk's 7. You run to your friends by the docks. You tell them I kept my end of the bargain.
I will do
Right.
so. You're an honorable you're an honorable man to your credit.
Oh, shut the fuck up. And he just shoves you aside and he runs out the alley.
So as he leaves, I will go to the mouth of the alley, so to speak.
Mhm.
Is the woman who is trying to get to me still there?
Make a perception check. Yeah. You see her in the crowd. She sees you emerge from the alley shortly after John Leaping runs from it. Um, she walks straight up to you, kind of just walks past you, doesn't stop, and just says, "Your friends are at the dock," and just keeps moving.
Um, because she's so um, what's what I'm looking for? Professional. I'm sure there's some kind of sign that I may be able to make just to
Uh,
acknowledge her.
okay. Uh, there's no equivalent of thieves' cant in this game, but yeah, you can tell. But
That was actually one of my questions. I've got it written down right here. I could flash it up. No, I'm serious. I was going to ask that 2 days ago or 3 days, 3 sessions ago. Okay.
It would depend, I think. In a city like Tharbad, if you were part of a network of thieves, there would certainly be a thieves' cant for signals between them. But since you're a hobbit from the Shire, you would have no one to cant with.
Other than the group that I traveled in.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, you know where your friends are now.
Actually,
Okay.
two people told me to go to the docks.
Okay. You make your way down there.
Yes.
All right. It doesn't take much to see your friends. It's not often you see a particular group of this composition just hanging out at the docks.
Really
Um,
tall, really short, lots in between.
yeah. Uh, so you all see Turk emerge.
And I'll just be walking kind of casually.
Zurich just shakes his head.
Goldie squeals.
I give Goldie a big hug.
I'm gonna look around for the douchebag. Where is he?
The only thing Turk says
And
is, let's get the hell out of here.
and with that, I'll step out of the shadows and I'll be like, this way, quickly, and start walking north on the docks.
All right. You guys head north towards the walls of Tharbad, Garth Toron,
Along the
and
shore, right?
along the shore. Yeah. Once you leave the dock proper and head towards Garthorn, there immediately the crowds and people disappear. No one likes to go anywhere near Garthorn if they can. If like, no one goes there by choice. So you're there on your own, and there are so many ruins that litter the coast of this area of the city. It's very easy to find a place where you can hunker down for the rest of the day and wait till evening. At this point, Turk, you're able to take a short rest
I
if you
will
need to.
open my bag and take Bacon and nuts and ask him to explain everything. We'll have
And
it again.
Turk says, bless you, Goldie, bless you. So bacon wrapped around
Yes, yes, everything.
scallops.
So there was nothing left on the table when we left. So anything that was there, it's probably in my bag.
Bacon
No,
wrapped
but
strawberries.
Oh, that sounds really good, actually. Um,
kind of
all
funky
right, so you
spice.
guys wait there till evening. Is there anything you'd like to do while you're waiting?
I think Zerk's going to be down by the river looking for
That's
shinies.
exactly what I'm going to be doing. Exactly.
All right. Um, Well, night falls, and you hear a whisper coming from the darkness. Psst, this way. And
Chin?
you see Jan kind of poking out from behind a boulder.
All right, I'll be like, all right, Zurich, Anna, let's go.
Zurich steps up, grabs the documents off of Eucaliel, and approaches the raft.
Okay. You approach the raft, and it has a compartment sunk below the water line that she like with a trap door, and she says, "Get in there."
All right, I'll go in first. I don't care.
All right. It's a tight squeeze with the three of you in there. You're like right up against each other, kind of almost like in fetal positions, almost to fit yourselves into this little hidden compartment beneath her raft. And it is kind of wet, despite the amount of tar she's used in here, just trying to keep it watertight. It still leaks water. And you can smell the river water kind of seeping through the logs as she closes the lid on top of you. And you can hear her move some stuff on top of that. He says, "Now be quiet. Don't say a word." And you can hear her like pulling out to the middle of the river. The kind of, you hear the water splashing against the raft, slow, steady pulling. And she starts humming to herself. Um, and it's a few moments later, you hear guards kind of yelling out from the shore for her to stop. They inspect her goods. She pays the taxes and the tariffs required for the goods presented. They don't notice the secret compartment beneath the raft, and you continue to float downriver. You float for what seems to be half an hour, surely well enough to be outside the city walls of Tharbad. When you feel the raft come to shore, the lurching sensation as the raft suddenly comes to a stop, she pulls off the tarp, the crates that conceal the trapdoor beneath the raft, opens it up, lets you all out, and turns to you, Moonstalker, and says,
I'll take
commence
all
out.
my armor off and stuff and put it over by Zurich.
Okay.
Anything I'll keep
And
on me is a dagger.
Jan says, it's out there, maybe 50 feet, and all the way to the bottom.
Okay, I'll jump into the river and swim 50 feet. Get out there, do a breathing exercise. Hold my breath and dive.
Zurk?
Have I exited the raft? Am I on
Yes,
the raft or am I
you're
dry
all
ground?
you're all on shore right now.
All right, so I'm standing there, like giving the absolute stink eye to Anna, shield in one hand, axe in the other, just like stone faced, steel gaze, eyes locked with Anna. If she tries anything, I'm expecting her to. I'm ready.
Okay. Make an insight check for me, please, Zurk.
Sorry. Oh.
Okay. You notice that Anna doesn't seem to be paying much attention to you. She seems to be more interested in what the heck Moonstalker is doing out in the
That's
middle of the river.
fine by me. If he's drawing the attention, that's great. We'll watch the Moonstalker show. She can watch the Moonstalker show, and I'll watch her.
All right. Moonstalker, I need you to make
Yes.
a couple of rolls for me. First of
Sure.
all, an athletics check to see if you can fight the current of the Grey Flood.
24.
Very
Nice.
nice. And secondly, a perception check with disadvantage.
I was going to say you should have tied her up around yourself.
14.
14. So you
Or,
swim what seems to be
click
like,
disadvantage.
yeah, about 50 feet out, roughly maybe a third of the way across the river from the shore, and you dive down deep. The Grey Flood is a deep, slow moving, but strong current river. And luckily, it is bright moon. You've kind of gotten away from the pollution, the haze that kind of surrounds Tharbad constantly. And you see something below you caught in the sandy bottom of the river. It is indeed shiny.
All right. Oh, grab it.
All right. You grab what looks to be a ring.
How did Jenny know it was there?
And that's where we'll end tonight's
You
session.
stink, Andrew.
Yes, but is it the ring?
We shall see.
I don't know. I guess we'll find out when I put it on, right?
Oh,
I'm swimming with the ring in my hand like this, right?
Yeah.
So
If you
You
just
swim
I
with the
grab.
ring like
also,
that? Yeah.
Yeah.
if you put the ring on, I would kind of roll another character because I think Zurg's gonna just chop your head off.
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll
Zerk,
see.
Well, how do you know it's
running
his?
for you.
How do you know if it's his ring? What if
Oh,
Right.
it's
he'll know.
Sauron's ring? What if this is Sauron's ring, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we are before the time of the Hobbit show, right?
Is it your birthday?
This is
Whose
actually this
birthday
takes
is it?
place between the Hobbit and the Fellowship of the Ring.
Oh,
It's about
gotcha.
halfway between.
Gotcha.
I gotta say, I
So,
cannot believe it.
all right, I'm going to stop the recording there.